season unfortunately coming to an end. 28-14, ultimately, the way this thing goes. Another first round exit. Was this, I think, 8 consecutive seasons now, man, with a first round exit from Coach T most recently, man. So obviously not what we are looking for or looking forward to, but like I said, man, plenty that we're going to discuss. And obviously, I know everybody cannot wait to talk about all the offseason topics as well, man. Let's see. Are we firing people? Which quarterbacks? All the other stuff. So trust me, we are going to be open for all of that, man. But shoot, it is on the late night, man. So obviously, we're going to get into it because I do see a ton of y'all already in here. Salute to each and every one of y'all. And shout out to the super chats as well, man. We're going to get it all off our chest tonight. But yeah, man, I'm gonna start with you already. Mike, I'm with you, man. Fire everybody. Don't re-sign anybody. And yes, we are absolutely atrocious. So y'all can't say that I ain't say it on the front. I got it out the way first. All right. So other than that, man, let's get to it. Let's man. Let's see, man. We'll start it off like how we normally do. Drop it in the comment section where you are tuning in from. So then that way, I give you that big boy shout out to start tonight's show. And hopefully that'll make you feel a little bit better about what we just saw because wasn't what we were looking for. But like I said, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe either, baby. And I'll preface this on the front end. Just because y'all might not agree with me, don't be picking on me, because I don't be picking on y'all when I don't agree with y'all. I'm just going to throw it out there on the front end, all right? Because I know how y'all be. Hey, if Moats ain't say this, man, Moses apologize. Don't be doing that to me, because I could do that to y'all, but I don't be doing that, all right? So we're going to get to it, though. We definitely going to get to it. But let's see where we at, man. Tony Daniel in the 601, the SIP. Shout out to Mississippi in the house. Yes, indeed. And I see the homie Timothy Krebs in the Bay Area. Shout out to the Bay Area. Let's get it. Let me see. I see the homie AJ Martinez rocking out. Shout out to the homie John Todman all the way in Connecticut. Shout out to Connecticut, man. Stephen Elmore in Atlanta. Hopefully you're warm down there. So y'all got a little bit of snow, man. You know how that go, baby. Got the homie Jerry Kirkland in the 804 VA. Man, that's home of Russell Wilson, man. Second half Russ, right? It's going to be an interesting decision with him this offseason. Shoo. Pixel Bros all the way in the 208 Idaho. Shout out to Idaho. And Mike T, I am with you, baby. We both mad. I got a little hot sweat because I had my hat on and I got hot because I was upset. So I had to take the hat off. I'm still kind of sweating, all right? But my homies in the 215, shout out to Mike T, all right? And Casper the Ghost all the way in Phoenix. Grant A out there in the 818 Los Angeles. Shout out to LA, man. And man, hopefully you are safe out there, and everybody that is out there, man, thoughts and prayers, because that is still crazy right now, man. Oh, and I see the homie David Decker off the top rope with it. 585 Rochester, New York. And he says, Moats, it is time to hit the rebuild button. Is that the consensus? Is that where we're truly at, man? I think that's going to be the real decision this offseason, man. Before we could go one way or the other, right? Whether you're a Tomlin guy or you're not a Tomlin guy, whether you're an Arthur Smith guy, you're not an Arthur Smith guy, whether you are a Russ guy or a Justin Fields guy, right? All of those different things, whether you believe that TJ still has it, that Minka still has it, right? That's going to be the first thing that we got to get figured out before we go forward. And why I say that is this, man. Number one, knowing how Mr. Rooney, knowing how they're talking about it within that building, man, Coach T and company like that, they're not quick to make drastic changes. So the only time you're going to get that big change is if they truly feel they aren't close. If they truly feel that this is 1,000% a lost cause and we're not just talking out of emotion and right, it's just the spirit of the moment, then yeah, you'll get them big changes. Trust me on that one. But it really just depends on where we feel about it or how we feel about it. I mean, shoot, we watch every game and we say the same thing every week, right? Especially these past 5 games. Bad. Well, there was an opportunity. Ran out of time at the end because I saw everybody was acting on social media when it turned to 28-14 after that second touchdown. We was like, hold on now. Wait a minute. We get a stop here. Hold on now. So that's the part where it's like for it to be as god awful to the point where we should burn the whole organization down. We were still in this game talking about, hey, all right, we got that stop. Can we get a score right here? And it was a sack, right? 3rd down sack, Russ. We end up punting. then that's where it kind of was like, all right, we never really got a chance to get that thing rolling again. But that's the funny part. So it's like, I feel the energy, and trust me, man, I'm with you on it. Definitely not what you want to see. Nah. But at the same time, if we are going to react, let's react fully, right? Let's not just hyper focus on one and then just make a big ordeal out of the one. Let's take it all into facts. And then from there, you make a decision like that, man. At least that's kind of how I view it, man. But I felt like to start it off, not enough energy, man. It's a playoff game versus the Ravens. Baltimore Ratbirds, what we talking about, man? You supposed to be coming out this thing fired up, pissed, hot, trying to kill somebody. Not literally, but you catch the drift. That's what it's supposed to be. That wasn't the case. I mean, you talk about that first half. Poof. It was the Baltimore Ravens are the more physical. The big brothers, they look like big guys playing against little guys in that first half. I mean, like I said, man, schematically, when the approach is take away Derrick Henry, allow Lamar Jackson to kind of do his thing, and in the first half, Derrick Henry is running it. It's like, yo, bro, this ain't working, man. You look up, they got over 300 yards of total offense. It's like, all right, we are flat. We got to get more energy, more motivation, man. And that's the part that, like I said, man, if we're going to criticize, man, yeah, 100% coming out of the locker room, if you don't have that type of energy, man, you know I always default to players, but if you want to put that on coaching, you can for certain put that on Coach T. Yeah, why not, right? Because, yeah, if you're the coach, man, get the guys fired up, send them out there ready to go. I know that's how a lot of people feel about it. You know me from my experiences, self-motivation, man. If you need somebody to tell you to get up and go, you ain't going to do it no way. But either way, you the coach. So I got you on that one, man. So, yeah. But the thing I would say is this, man. Second half, thought that we did come out. Thought that we did respond. All the things that we was hoping and asking for, right? Stop trying to run this football because clearly it's not working tonight. Can we throw the ball? Can we take advantage of that secondary that on tape had been bad? Now, we know most recently they have been playing well in terms of the Ravens, but as a whole, this season, they haven't been this great unit. So it was like, man, let's hit them with some passes. So it was kind of good to see Van Jefferson, Mike Williams. It was kind of good to see GP, Calvin Austin. It was kind of good to see that. But it's like, why do we got to wait to the second half? Why? Like, I get we like our plan. I get we want to try to execute. I get we don't want to move off of the preparation too soon. But at the same time, it's like, hey, man, clock's rolling. And on top of that, we're feeling the Ravens and the success they're having because it ends 28-14. And even with them dominating the way that I felt they were dominating in the first half, oddly enough, before that, Lamar Jackson get busy with 11 seconds to throw the touchdown. It's 14-zip. Worst case, you're saying to yourself, man, they're going to kick a field goal. We're going into the half 17-zip. Let's make something work. But unfortunately, Lamar, he put the cable on that one play, man, made his little extension. And, yeah, man, he finds running back gets in the zone. So now it changes the flow of it. But like I said, coming out of the half, I thought defensively, man, we got to stop early on. Offensively, you got to score. Defensively, doing what they were supposed to do, man. But it's 4 quarters. And that's the part. So it's like, man, you can look at the 21-zip. You quit on it if you want to, and I get that. Trust me, I do. But it's the reason why those guys play, because they get a chance to come back. Like I said, I thought we was going to get something going a little bit further, that 28-14. Thought we was going to get it. But unfortunately, man, a breakdown of protection. And that's the theme of this season, man. At some point, everybody has had their little mess ups, man. O-line give you one. Russ give you one. Receivers give you one. Tight ends give you one. Running game give you one. Then you turn around to the defense, and we like, come on, baby, this is the highest paid. I know y'all going to show me something tonight. And it's like, man, we get bullied. We get ran through, out physical. I mean, you seen you seen the stiffy. I ain't want to talk about you. That hurt my heart. I was like, not that one. Not to him. But that was the tempo. That was what they was on tonight, man. And that's the part where, once again, we could look at it and we ask ourselves, all right, how close are we? Either way. Are we closer to being trash or are we closer to being really good? The 10 wins will tell you that you're closer to being really good. The postseason appearance tell you you're closer to being really good. The 5 straight losses, the 8th consecutive first round loss in the postseason would tell you that you are not that close to being good. But that's the crossroads. And I get it, man. Some people are going to say, yeah, man, I'd rather blow it up and be like 1-2 or 1-2 wins or 3-win teams to get a high draft pick. I'm going to just tell you now, man, I'm not with that. I don't like that. I'm not going to vote for that. I'm just throwing it out there, man. Organization, I don't think they're going to vote for that either. But I do understand it. Trust me, I get it, man, because it's the whole thought process of, man, look, if we can't get what we want, then why even want it at all? I'd rather go this way. And it's like, yeah, for some people that works. For others, that does not work. For others, they like, listen, man, we could get that. We're right on this. We're right on this ledge. How do we? That's how I always look at it, man. But I'm also a glass half full type of guy. You got people that are more of the pessimistic, where they're going to look and say, hey, nah, man, how do we tear it down? What isn't going right? And I can understand that thought process as well. And I think that's what makes everybody, you know, the uniqueness of people, and why it always works like that when you bring everybody together to make these type of decisions, man. But like I said, man, definitely a disappointing end to the season, though, man. You think about the optimism prior to this 5-game debacle. It's like, man, you sitting at 10-3, and we're talking about, man, we about to win this division. We about to have coach of the year and all this other good stuff is about to roll with this day, man. Now, way different conversation. Like I said, way different conversation, whether you're talking coaching staff, right? What decisions need to be made? What changes need to be made? Whether you're talking head coach, offense coordinator, defensive coordinator, etc. Or what are you talking in terms of who's your quarterback now? You bringing Russ back, bringing Fields back, or you starting completely over draft, or you going free agency? What you looking like on defense? How do you feel about these contracts now when we're looking at the amount of money players are getting paid, but when we're having some of these games like we had tonight and we're not necessarily getting the impact that we are desiring, now you start the question, all right, do we need pay cuts? Do we need to change how we're, spending this money on defense? Those are the questions that come up, especially when they don't have Zay Flowers and they still come out and have the type of success that they had with essentially the two-man tandem of Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. That's the part where, you're not going to feel good about it, man. And trust me, them dudes don't feel good about it. Man, I know how they rock out. Nah, you hate that. And you hate the fact that you're not going to get another opportunity either. So now you're going to have to deal with this the whole offseason, the conversation surrounding personnel all offseason, the conversation surrounding coaching staff, right? All of that happens now because you allowed it. But you had a chance to change that. And that's the frustrating part. So once again, that's the question, man. That's what they're going to have to ask or answer themselves within the building. And obviously, as a fan base, we're going to have our opinions on it. And I think they're going to vary. Some people are going to say that, yeah, man, we are a lot closer to being bad, so blow it all up. Others are going to say, hey, look, man, you're a play here, a play there. And maybe if this is that and that is that personnel-wise, maybe it changes. We shall see, baby. We shall see. But like I said, man, that was kind of my thoughts on it, man. I see y'all are in here deep. So we're going to obviously get to you guys, man. So y'all hit that like button one time for the culture. And don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel. Appreciate all the supers that are in here as well, to super chats. Like I said, definitely appreciate y'all. Got us up on a late night, cold as heck outside, just to take a L like this. Boy. All right, where we at, man? Got the homie Tons of Fun. Shout out to the homie Tons of Fun. Let's see. He says, I'm ready for the positivity and the optimism, Moats. Oh, I'm ready for the positivity and the optimism, Moats whips up to make the Steelers and coaches look good. Or is it Ravens are just a better team? Man, shoot. I say Ravens are the better team, but, I don't know if y'all would have hit that all the way, so I apologize. If you want optimism, I'll say, yeah, man, it's a game of inches. You're a sack on a third down when you have momentum, pushing it into the high red zone from, ultimately making it a one-score game, 28-21, and now it gets real interesting, especially when you talk about the momentum that the Steelers had in the second half early on. That's the optimism. But I'm with you, man. Ravens are just a better team. Not everybody wants to hear that, though. All right. Tons of Fun. He says, to those saying that Fields should be in, that's like aloe on Freddy Krueger. Won't make a difference. Be happy like always for 10 wins. Well, 10 wins are better than 3 wins, I suppose. Y'all did enjoy the 10 wins when they were happening, so we can't have it both ways in the sense of we enjoy the 10 wins, but then we want to act like they didn't happen. So I get it, man. So yeah, with you, tons of fun. Yeah, enjoy the 10 wins, man. Or we could be like, nah, man, we don't want 10 wins. I'd much rather only had 2 wins, and then we get that nice draft pick, baby. I'm with you. All right, Tons of Fun also says, should I think about the offseason and the draft? Should I think about the offseason and the draft? I know it's going to be the same thing every year, or if I know it's going to be the same thing every year, we could be number 1 overall in the draft or Mahomes and still be the same result. I mean, you know what they do say. If you think negative, usually you're going to get something negative out of it. If you think positive, usually you get positivity out of it, man. So I think it is whatever your mind wants it to be. And I think that's one of the things that, I learned in terms of me playing professionally, man. That's one of the, I guess, things that a lot of non-athletes get upset with athletes about, because we always have this like internal optimism. It's like, man, I don't care what the score is. I don't care what everything has been looking like prior to it. As long as there's time on the clock, I'm nice enough to make the comeback. And when you've done it time and time and time and time again, which for the professionals, they've been doing this since rec ball, since high school ball, since college, and now they're in the pros. Man, they've always done it. They've always believed in themselves. So the ultra negative, the woe is me, the it's never going to work out, the sky is falling, for guys like myself, from my perspective, we have a hard time really connecting with that perspective because, we just believe that why can't it work out? Why? Who's to say it can't work out next year? Why? Because we lost today? Oh, no, we can't win next year. So it's like, well, why even show up then? Why even care? Why even dress? It's like, that's the mindset, right? But that's why I said, for me as a former athlete, man, I think that's why we don't always see eye to eye with that, man, because, I don't really agree with that. But shout out to you, though, tons of fun, man. I definitely could dig it. And he says his apologies, Mahomes. And I could definitely dig that, man, because Mahomes is nice, though, man. Trust me, Mahomes is definitely nice. But like I said, man, everybody's going to have their different perspectives on it, man. If you do truly believe that this team is not going to be good, then it's like, hey, man, cool. We'll see what happens, right? Worst case is what? They actually are good. But if we already are saying today that we know they're going to be terrible and not be good next year, then it's like, hey, you've already set the bar extremely low. So if they win 5 games next year, you should be happy. If you win 10 games next year, oh my God, that should be orgasmic, right? Just say, based off of the way that the conversation has proceeded thus far, but I could definitely dig it. Shout out to the homie, Let's Go UW. He says, congrats, Tomlin. You've now only won a playoff game in 4 of your 18 seasons. One of the worst records among current coaches. And now that is true. I mean, it is crazy. Man, I was talking with the fan. He was like, yo, when was the last playoff game? Was that really when you was out there in 16? I'm like, yeah. It's like, it's going to end this year. And unfortunately, that was not the case. But that's why we, like I said, man, we're having the conversation we're having today. And except for Mr. Rooney and company, man, they're going to have them conversations about which the direction you going, right? Some people are going to say, all right, man, this is mediocrity. Some people are going to say, oh, the standard is losing. Standard is one and done in the playoffs. Then you're going to have the other people to say, well, when is mediocrity 10 plus wins? When is mediocrity having the playoffs locked up within 5 games remaining in the regular season or 4 games remaining in the regular season? When does that equate to mediocrity? So we can see it both ways, man. Trust me, I can. And I definitely can understand the frustration. You don't think we want to win? You don't think these dudes don't want to have more success and stop hearing about it's been a long time since y'all had a playoff win. It's been a long time. You don't want to hear that? Trust me. It gets annoying. It gets annoying as heck, man. But for those dudes, man, they got to answer that. This ain't my burden. I ain't playing out there. So that's why you see a little bit of a chill vibe. Why? Because I've already done that. I'm not doing that right now. So, I could just watch it and be like, yo, this one went right, this one went wrong. But it's a different vibe right now, man. But for those dudes, man, they got to do that soul searching, man. They got to figure out how to make it right, man. And they capable. They definitely are. But there going to be some changes, man. And like I said, the big one is going to be, number one, are we close enough to where you want to give it another go? Or are you completely saying, nah, bump this, man. Let's blow it up. Let's change it up. I don't care what that takes us back to. Let's blow it up. I don't care what it is. Let's do it. That's the convo. Like I said, for me personally, I'm not on that. At least not right now. Maybe after I sit down, look over a couple things, check it out a little bit more, maybe that changes. But I ain't on that right now. That's just me. All right, let's go UW. He says the Steelers have now gone 4 straight seasons without winning the North, their longest division drought since a 7-year stretch from 85 to 91. Chuck Noll's final years with the team. The standard keeps dropping. Like I said, man, I love the historical references, man. It does provide context. So trust me, man. They know that. I'm with you. It ain't good enough. So what you want to do about it? That's the real question. That's the real question. If the answer is simply, yo, just blow it up and fire everybody, cool, let's do it. But are we still saying what is the standard going forward? That's the question. What's going to be the standard going forward, man? But we're going to find out, man. And that's the definitely thing we're going to find out, man. But the reason why I personally don't, and I'll say it like this, right? Because I know everybody's like, oh, man, why wouldn't you switch off of Tomlin just yet? What's your deal, bro? I would have been fired him. I know a lot of y'all would have. It's cool. We all don't have to see eye to eye. And I think that's the other part with this. I personally don't always try to see how you guys see it. And I'm sure y'all don't always try to see it how I see it. But to keep it simple, the reason why I don't move on from Coach Tomlin after this season is this. I look at the 10 wins. I look at the quarterback switch. I look at the fact that Russ did not have the full offseason with this squad. Banged up, hurt. I look at the fact that, man, we felt like we wanted to stick with this running identity, but we actually had a lot more success when we were a pass-first team. Hence what we saw in the second half this game today. And also when you think about that Bengals game, man, how we looked, right? We looked way better when we were throwing the football. I'm under the impression that, man, you sit back here and you say, man, I need a wide receiver. I got to bring me one in here. Whether it's high-end draft pick or free agency, I got to get me a guy. I need a full offseason with him. I need a full offseason with my QB. And from there, I'm giving it my go. That way, I'm looking at this defense and I'm asking, all right, I got to look at that and evaluate that a little bit more. But to me, I think that that's my approach. And then I'm running it back. Now, if this is the same result next year, now, hey, coach, hey, we got to have different talks. We got to go a different direction. I think that's how I look at it. But the reason why I'm not about to do it right now, I'm not about to fire my coach after 10 wins. And I look at this 5-game stretch, the 3 games, 11 days, and all the other stuff and everything in between. It's like, yeah, it's context in there. You won't lose to no bums. If the Ravens went to the Super Bowl and won it this year, is people going to be really surprised? Absolutely not. So am I supposed to overreact because y'all got beat by the Ravens twice? You lost to the Chiefs. The Chiefs went back-to-back Super Bowl championships. They're trying to get a third one this year. They're 15-2. Should be 16-1 realistic if they would have played their starters. But hey, let me overreact to that one too, right? Yeah, Philadelphia Eagles. Dang, what they see? Oh, yeah, pretty dominant, right? But hey, I should trip out on that. Let me fire. Nah, the fire people are the ones that don't have success. So once again, we could talk about what the standard is. We could talk about what actually is success from an NFL standpoint. But 10 wins in an NFL season, that is sustained success. Regardless of what the personal feelings may be, we can talk about the wordplay of standard versus standard. And if it's not a championship, then we suck. Cool. We get that. And if that's the logic, that's the logic. Sure. But in terms of running the business side of it, that's not the case. So, like I said, we go see different perspectives as it pertains to that. But just from the way that I've seen it, that's why I say what I say and why I have the stance that I have as it pertains to coach. But once again, that's my perspective. That's just mine. Everybody's entitled to their own, baby. So shout out, man. Shout out. All right. But you already know the drill, man. Hit that like button, man, and let's get it. Oh, I see you, S. Dredgner. Yes, baby. Gaslight. Oh, yeah. I like when we use that word. Gaslight. That's like my favorite when I see that one. My daughter be using it a lot. I be like, yeah, girl. Gaslight. Once again, we can have difference of opinions, baby. We don't want a name call, but just difference of opinions. There's nothing wrong with that. All righty. Shout out to the homie, though. Richard R. Bezo in the building. Richard Arbizo says, first two rounds on true wide receiver one and a cornerback one who locks up in the draft, or true wide receiver one and cornerback one who lock in / up in the draft. All right, so he's basically saying he wants a true wide receiver one or cornerback one early on in the first 2 rounds of the draft going into next season. Says that Coach T is on the hot seat after all, and with his old resume with Russ, offensive coordinator was fine, but Terrell Austin is questionable. Okay, so shout out. I like that. I like where we at with this, man. All right. So yes, I would agree, man. Coach Tomlin officially on the hot seat. It's sizzling. It is hot. I'm with you. 1,000%. It is hot. And he understands that, man. Like I said, man, you got 8 playoff losses, man, in the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Nah, that don't fly. That doesn't fly. don't confuse my like lack of interest with the overreactions with, yo, you ain't won a playoff game in 8 years, man. That ain't cool. Not at all. Not when you're the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not when you have the time that these guys have had at times. So, yeah, hot seat is officially turned on. Yeah, 100% on that one. And with Russ, man, I think that's the weird part, man, because obviously you got the resume with him. And at times this season, you saw what he could do. And even in this game, you could see some of the impact. But you can also see where he's limited now. You could also see where he isn't the guy that could force multiply for 1, 2, or even 3. Nah, it might get you 1, 1.5. But it's like, yo, you're going to need a guy. You're going to need somebody that can give him some help, man. And I think that if you are going to run it back with Russ, which, like I said, we'll see what the coaching staff decides with him, man. But with that, though, it's like, man, if you're going to run it back, you're going to need a bona fide wide receiver that can help him out. Like what I'm seeing from GP. But even with GP this season, it was like, man, we kept feeling like, yo, when we were about to take that official step to cross over to being that guy, it was just like, man, we would have little hiccups. I thought today, though, he played really well, man. I love the toughness. I love the combat catch, and I love his just going to get it. I thought that was definitely needed. But like I said, we need some nuts. We need another guy. And I think that's the approach if you bring in Russ back. You go load up, get you another wide receiver. Russ, you're not taking 30. You're not getting 40. Can't give you 30 or 40 mil. I can't do that. Can't do that. If that's the case, you got to go. I can't do that. But if that number is appropriate, I think that, yeah, that's the way I'm looking at it. Because like I said, man, you look at the draft, which one? Who you moving up to go get? If you sit, which one you going to get? Who you going to draft? So I don't like that. And then once again, now you're looking at free agency. All right, let's see the top names. You're going to have Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins. Was going to say Deshaun Watson if they was going to release him, but he just tore the ACL or the Achilles again, so that's a dud. Jameis Winston probably, right? Jameis in there. Y'all bringing up Jalen Milroe. Hey, some people might like Jalen Milroe. Me personally, I'd rather run it back with Russ or Justin Fields before I do the Jalen Milroe. That's just my perspective on it. But everybody's different with that. Okay, Kevin Ball brought up Justin Fields. Okay, so like I said, man, you got some of them. You got some names. All right. Me personally, none of them names have moved my needle, though. That's my only issue with it, man. But that's just my eyes. Everybody else is different, though. Some people might be like, yo, I like Sam Darnold, man. Bring Sam. You see what Sam's doing in the Vikings right now? Some people might look at Kirk and be like, yo, man, I want Kirk. I'm like, all right. But that's kind of where we at right now with this name, man. So, once again, when you sitting here and you saying, all right, we can blow this thing up. That's fine. We can have action. We can act out of passion, right? And emotion. That's fine. But what's the next after that? The cause and the effect to that. And I think that's the part that when you're talking about running a business, when you're talking about running a team and trying to stay competitive each and every year and not have these ultra bad drop-offs. These are the conversations that you have. These are why you don't just fire somebody after one game, which we know every week, right? It's fire, fire, fire. We know this. But this is why they don't fire. Because you got to take all of these different things into account. It's called context, man. And when you factor them in, then you get a chance to put together these teams where it's like, okay, they are still winning. They are doing these things right. All right, this is good. This isn't that, but at the same time, it's not that. And we're trying to get to that. And that's the part for us, man, where it's like, once again, how do we get there? But when it's 8 years in the postseason of taking an L in the first round, that's the part where it's like, yo, that is super loud. No losing seasons. That's one thing. Oh, you had double-digit wins back-to-back years. All the different quarterbacks, cool. But the 8 postseason losses, that is loud. Like, that is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Then you're going to get people that said, shoot, he's still fighting. He's still getting in there. So it's like, I get that part. But it's like, yo, he's 8 losses consecutively. Like, God, dog, that's crazy. Like I said, last playoff win was in 2016. I've been retired for a long time. That's the last time I was playoff win. Craziness. So both sides are very valid. Both sides are very much legitimate in their gripe, in their stance. The ones who are like, bro, this is not cool, man. This is bad. You got to go. Y'all valid. Trust me. Because what do we, in terms of how we judge coaches, man, we put more emphasis on postseason. Because we're saying now you're competing for a championship. Right now you're getting a chance to get us a Lombardi. But then we look at the ones where it's like, man, how many teams don't even get them opportunities because they can't even do this part right? So it's like we've seen him do this before, but it's been a long time since he's done that. But he's still rocking this. He's still killing this part. He got this part all the way figured out. Shoot, it don't matter who he got, whatever the deck is, he gonna make sure this works. But once we get to here, now it's like, yo, we're getting so far removed from the last time we saw the success. It's like, man, where is the disconnect happening? Where is the breakdown happening? Why is it once postseason happens, you get in these matchups, it's like, sheesh. It's almost like we forget what we're doing. We forget how to play. Dudes coming out flat, game plan, question, and we like, man, I don't get it. But then you look up and it's like, you got the 10 wins. Again, how'd you do that? We're going to say it was the exact same as last year, but we know the context was different. Last year, we ain't had the playoffs locked up 5 weeks remaining in the season. This year we did. So we get that. But it's just like this breakdown of regular season success versus postseason. It's kind of like when we look at Lamar Jackson, it was like, man, regular season Lamar versus playoff Lamar. We look at playoff Lamar, it's like, yo, his numbers are just bad, like god awful. But today, play well, right? And that's the part where you're like, okay, it's going to continue until it doesn't, until you decide to go out there and have that change. And Lamar, he went out there and executed it today. That was his change. For Coach T, it's like, all right, now, it's been 8 times in a row. We can't keep going with it now. Like, we ain't about to look at the lowest 18 years in a row. No, we ain't doing that now. So that's why I say, man, I think that this is the year for him. This is the hot year now. The seat is officially hot. You know, hey, man, whatever you do regular season wise, we don't really care about it because you can't have another one and done. You can't go to 9 in a row. Can't do that. So that's kind of like I said, how I look at it, man. But that's my perspective on it. But with that being the case, though, man, he says, in terms of Terrell Austin, I don't feel the same way. I know a lot of people hate Terrell Austin. I get it, man. Hey, man, y'all got the highest paid defense. I get it. I definitely get it. But I didn't think scheme was issues always on defense. That's just me. I personally did not, though. No. I thought personnel was not doing what they were supposed to do at times. We talked about some of the mental errors that we dealt with early on in the season. Statistically, they still finished well. And that's the funny part about it. Statistically, man, they are a good to really good defense. But when you talk about the compensation for that defense, the expectations for the defense, yeah, this wasn't enough. And that's the part where especially when this is a league where it's such a pass or such a offensive led, scoring first league, for us to have this approach of we're a defensive unit where the defense side of the ball takes the majority of the money up. If you're not dominant, that approach gets old very quickly. Because we're looking on offense and we're saying, man, what if we did have just another $5 million receiver over there? What if we did have, another $3 million offensive lineman? What does that look like? Versus kind of where we are right now, where it's, hey, Dan Moore, come out here and be an overachiever. All right, Dan, you're hurt. Hey, Calvin Anderson, can you come out here and play for us? Hey, Mason McCormick, you can't go. Spencer Anderson, can you come out here and play for us? And it's like, man, respect to those dudes, man. I thought they did a dope job. But at the same time, it's like, that's the difference. When you're talking about the person that we're throwing out there, you look at the wide receivers. It's like, man, we're saying, all right, Van Jefferson, give me something, man. Calvin, give me something, right? Mike Williams. But you think about some of the names that we bring up on defense and some of the pay on that side. It's like, we don't pay them on offense like that. So that's why the expectation for those guys isn't as high. So that's why for me, yeah, it's easy to point the finger and just say, oh, yeah, throw it on Terrell Austin because we don't want to point the finger at our favorites. And that's fine. But all I feel is, from my perspective, you could change the head, man. That don't change what we're going to see right here, because I think that those guys have to play better. And some of the injuries I do think had an impact. I do feel like that was at play. But we know this is part of it. When the defense is paid like that, it's like, man, y'all can't get hurt. Y'all can't play bad. The standard is the standard, especially when y'all got to lead that party. Y'all got to be the guys that's driving the ship. So that's, part of, from my perspective, it's like, yeah, I'm looking at some of the things that we're doing defensively, but please tell me where the scheme issue was. I'm watching Derrick Henry run and hit his head on the goalpost, and I'm like, that wasn't scheme. That's dude overrunning. I'm looking at, all right, we're sending, and the approach today was, man, we're not going to try to play the, hey, TJ Highsmith outside linebackers. You guys play dive in Lamar. No, they said we're going to simplify it. We want Lamar to hold the ball, and we are going to shoot, or we're going to crash down our ends every time and just define it. And I'm like, okay, that's a cool approach, especially if you want to minimize Derrick Henry. But now the onus becomes on that one-on-one on that linebacker, that one-on-one on that safety, that one-on-one on that potential nickel corner type dude, right? The guy that is the free defender that has to tackle Lamar one-on-one. So are we going to get on the scheme and say, hey, fire TA because I don't like the fact that we got a one-on-one with Lamar Jackson? Or are we saying, yeah, it's a one-on-one with Lamar Jackson, and that player just unfortunately was not as good as Lamar Jackson tonight? We could point the finger at TA and say, yeah, man, fire him, man. It's your fault, bro. What you doing? Or you look at what we talked about. It'd be like, hey, you got to play better. You're capable of it, but you got to play better. You tell me. You tell me the switching coordinator changed those one-on-one situations that we saw tonight on defense, man. You tell me that. Because to me, that wasn't how I saw it, man. But that was my whole thing. I'm like, if it's blown coverages or if it's gap stuff where I'm looking at the scheme and I'm like, yo, what are we doing? What is that? Nah, that ain't cool. So, like I said, I don't like that approach. But once again, when you hear me talk about what would I do different, I'm not the guy that says, yo, you don't change anything. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying personnel is what I look at changing. I don't want to just change for the sake of changing. I think that that's what a lot of people do just to make themselves feel better, but you accomplish zero. You just spin in a circle. I don't want to waste time. That's like the thing that I hate the most, wasting time. So to fire just for the sake of fire, to out of rage, get the pitchforks, I'm like, yo, that is an absolute waste of time in my eyes. It bores me. So that's why I look at it differently. I'm like, yo, what can actually help us? What's actually going to get us to the place that we need to get to? The people that are actually on the field. The ones that are actually making the mistakes. The ones that are actually not making those plays. Those are the guys. And that's why I said what I said, man. You got to look at that money and say, all right, is it pay cut time? Or is it we go a different direction time? Or do you feel these guys still have it? And it was just a bad day. It was a bad couple of weeks. But you tell me, was Lamar under duress tonight? You tell me, was Derrick Henry getting thumped from the time he was getting that rock? Y'all tell me. I thought the cornerbacks looked good, but it was no Zay Flowers. So it was like, we should look good. But once again, you tell me. So, hey, like I said at the beginning, it's easy to just say, hey, man, fire that dude right there. If y'all want to do that, man, we could definitely do that for sure. But like I said, man, we just got different opinions on it, man. And I don't expect y'all all agree with me because I for certain don't always agree with you guys, man. But either way, I'm glad that we all rocking out with the black and gold. So if that is the case, hit that like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Shout out to y'all too, man. On the late night, man, it is officially Sunday. Y'all up now too, bro. I see y'all in the building. I definitely see it. Hey, I see you, baby P. You want some attention. I like you too, man. It's all love. Yes, indeed. Shout out to John Doe. I see some truth in the building. Their O-line was far superior. Don't want to hear that. But I know y'all seen the one play where Derrick Henry read it. It's like, yo, they running the combo block. They show the replay. They're like, yeah, this is Tyler Linderbaum. And this is I forgot the guard, and they're like showing him run the double team, and my man's like 7-8 yards back. I'm like, yeah, hey, Terrell Austin, yeah, Terrell Austin, yep, yeah, like, yep, my man's 8 yards downfield. Okay, yeah. I watched another one. I'm like, bro, D-line, where you at? Oh God, get up. Hey, Terrell Austin, yep, yeah. So, like I said, when you run the ball, was it 12 runs in a row? 13 runs in a row? How many times was it? 13 runs? I think it was like 13 runs on the one play. I mean, on the one drive, like 80-something yards, man. Yeah, that's scheme. That was 1,000% scheme. Yeah, I'm like, bro, if you do not get your pads down, if you do not fire off this daggone ball, put your hands in this man's chest, move your feet, and act like you want to make a play, but no. We would much rather just simply say, yo, Terrell Austin, that's all you. So I'm with it, man. Trust me, man. Like I said, it simplifies it, but does it actually get us closer to what we're trying to get accomplished? And I think that's what we really got to ask ourselves. I think there are some dope candidates out there, though, 100%, man. But are they going to come here? That's the question. Brian Flores, man, we would love he. Yeah, man. All right, cool. Nobody got paid to leave to go there. I don't know if we're going to pay that. I know we didn't pay that, but I don't know if we would pay it now because it's going to be even more now, right? It's names, it's guys. Trust me, it's guys, man. Trust me, it's guys. But I think that's the real thing with that thing, though, man. Like, are you actually going to get one of them? Because if you're not, then, yeah, Terrell Austin, to me, understands what he's doing. I think if you're going to criticize Terrell Austin, I think you would question, man, are you still able to motivate the guys? Right? How well do they respond to you? How well do they receive your message and actually execute it? Because I can see where schematically what he's trying to do. But at the same time, when we're looking at the execution of it, early on in the year, we said, man, it was almost like a little bit too much on the plate of the younger secondary or some of the younger pieces in the secondary. So you was having the blown assignments, right? So if it's too much, you take some off of their plate. Cool. We took some off of the plate. We minimized the blown assignments, but now you got bad matchups because you're not overly complicating it, i.e. Corey Trice, a lot of the matchups where he was getting Jamar Chase. And it was like, yeah, certain things that the Bengals could do schematically to build a formation where it was going to make Corey Trice have Jamar Chase one-on-one. And we saw how Jamar was able to take advantage of that. So now you run back to the whole conversation of, okay, do I try to ratchet it back up and get more overly complex and run the risk of going back to what we dealt with early on in the season? We remember the Colts game. We remember the Cowboys game. We're like, yo, man, what's this? Why do we keep having that? We remember all that type of stuff. So once again, that's why to me, it draws me back to personnel. It draws me back to the players that are actually out there because I can only do what these players are going to allow me to do. I can have the greatest scheme in the world, but if my players are not going to execute it, it does not matter. I could be the most genius person in the sense of, man, how I react and how I can see this and make these, moves on the fly. But if I can't articulate that to my personnel and I can't get them to understand that and then get them to go out there and execute it for 4 quarters, not just one time, not just 2 times, not just 3 times, then it's like, man, what are we going to do? What's the difference? So that's the whole, where we're at right now with this thing. And then obviously you throw the money in there and that kind of complicates things as well because, yeah, you might want that guy. You might know that guy can help you, but salary cap ain't going to allow that because this guy's getting paid whatever. He's getting paid a whole lot and that guy is too. So you are kind of stuck in a way trying to get those dudes to do a little bit more. And unfortunately, that was not the case right now. All right. Let's see. Got the homie. Let's go, UW. He says, yo, this is 2020 all over again. No, that's real, man. Let's see, man. After 2020, that's when we went and brought in Mitch, RIP Haskins, and that was the Kenny year, if I remember correctly, man, in 2021. Yeah. Could be off, but I think that was that year, right? Yeah, I think that was that year. Quarterback wise, it's going to be an interesting offseason. 1,000%, man. 1,000% is going to be an interesting offseason. Like I said, man, I think it could get really, really exciting / weird if they go completely new quarterback rule. I don't necessarily hate the concept of it, but there are some uncertainties with that. But I don't hate the concept to it, man. All the dudes are on 1-year deals. I also don't hate the concept of bringing back Russ or bringing back Fields. I think that you could still, with a full offseason committed to one or the other, think that you could work with that. But once again, it's like, there are risks with both of those scenarios. There are definitely risks with both of those scenarios. Like I said, free agency wise, it's back to the whole Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins, and then draft wise, I think my man brought up the Jalen Milroe. Like, I don't know. But okay. Let me make sure I get your name right. Oh, Ken Poman says draft Ashton Genty, sign a wide receiver and a defensive lineman. Okay. He wants to build up the running game. All right. So I'm assuming in this thing, man, we let Najee walk, bring in Genty, pair Genty up with Warren. Okay. Then he says sign a wide receiver and a D lineman. All right. Depending on quarterback contract, T. Higgins. We obviously know that's a wide receiver that'll probably be hitting the market, man, be available. Could spend a little on him. I said we building that up. I can see that. Then he says we need a D lineman. All right. I'd have to go look at the D linemen that are hitting the market and stuff like that. But okay. I don't hate that option. I don't hate that. I could work with that. It is crazy, though, that we are really having these talks now. Like, God, dog, man, the season's really over. We really here? Ooh, Doug Peterson as the offensive coordinator? I mean, I don't hate that. I mean, we obviously know Doug knows what he's doing. It sucks that Doug got fired in Jacksonville, but it's funny. Nobody like when them former players be saying what we be saying, man, but we be for real about it. A lot of people looked at Doug and they're like, yo, you suck, man. It's Doug Peterson's fault. Get him up out of there. You hear LaShawn McCoy. What did he say? Oh, man, it ain't Doug's fault. It's just the quarterback's fault. Dude ain't playing good. You paying them this, you expect this, and when you don't play up to that, and you look bad, they'd much rather point the finger at a coach because that's the easier way. So coaches are scapegoats. And then the players that actually had these relationships and actually been in them locker rooms with them dudes and actually know what they doing, you're like, no, it ain't. No, that ain't on him. That's on him, and him. On your favorites. That's what we say the way we say it. And yeah. Boy, it's like, I like Doug Peterson, man. So trust me, man, I ain't tripping on that. Dougie P, know what he doing, man, for certain. I like him. He a good coach, man. Definitely a good dude. But we'll see what that looks like. Because obviously we know we still got Arthur Smith, man, and he's supposed to be getting interviews, man. I think they said with Jets, obviously are the ones that I think were the first like NFL team that have already reached out for an official interview request with him. We know he turned down the UNC Chapel Hill interview request. So like I said, man, Arthur Smith, we'll see how that plays out, man, because he is going to get some interviews, whether that is multiple head coaching opportunities or other offensive coordinator opportunities. Arthur Smith knows what he's doing to an extent, man. And you can see the success that he had also, especially, it's funny, man. We're going to have our, opinions about Arthur Smith, but it's like, y'all know where we just came from. Don't act like this was anywhere close to what that was, because it wasn't, right? But that's the part with Arthur Smith, and it was good for him, kind of like what we saw with Brian Flores. Man, you come here, you get you a season under your belt where you show, hey, I could cook with this. We're going to have a lot of success. We're going to play in primetime games. We're going to be in the postseason. And now you get a chance to get active and see what, coaching free agency looks like. For Brian Flores, he was able to flip that, make a nice chunk of change to go to Minnesota. And he's been thriving, and now he's probably going to get another opportunity to get back as a head coach this offseason. So for Arthur Smith, man, we'll see what his approach is, but you can see where, he did do some positive things, whether you're talking with Justin Fields or with Russell Wilson. He had success with both of them dudes. Very different style quarterbacks. He had success with these wide receivers, this running game, man, this offensive line. We don't look at the pieces and feel like everything is surefire, Pro Bowl, all pro bowl. Nah, not on offense. We're like, man, that's where more of the youth is. That's where more of the inexperience is. That's where more of the, man, we need guys to like step up and play better than, what the expectations are. But you look at the offense, it was like, man, at times he had it humming. But there were also plenty of times where it wasn't consistent. And I think that that's the part for him that it could come back to bite him a little bit when we're talking about those decisions to would you bring him on as your head coach or not. But if you're Pittsburgh, like I said, you heard me at the beginning of this day, man. I could definitely see, like I said, this be the one final. You run it back, see what it looks like, man. But you got to add pieces, man. You have to add a wide receiver. I don't think you can go back with that status quo. I think you need a bona fide dude that can really open this offense up. Because I feel like when we actually decide to pass first, we have success. It opens things up and it makes the running game a lot more productive. We saw that at various points in times this season. But when it got to the point where, we could not throw the football to anybody, whether it was protection or we had the GP, he was injured for a little bit, then he came back and was kind of getting back, up to speed and stuff like that. It's like, dang, we realized, we need another piece. Calvin Austin, I thought, played well at times, but he's a smaller guy. Mike Williams and Van Jefferson, they have production, but it's not the consistent, I can depend on this guy to give me 5, 6, 7 catches like that. It's like, I might get 1 or 2 up out of him at timely moments, but that's not the same as that bona fide guy that is going to make you respect them from a defensive standpoint. So once again, that's how I look at it. Now, going forward, we would have to see how it would play out after that before what if it was again? It's like, if it was again, then it's again. But what if it wasn't? Right? We can all do that. So, like I said, that's kind of how I look at it, though, man. And that's why you keep hearing me talk more about personnel than I am talking about these coaches, because I don't look at the scheme and feel like it's incompetence. I feel like it's more of the execution and more of the, why aren't you doing what you're capable of doing? I look at more of that. And like I said, some of this stuff was injury related, and I do understand that. And I know we are going to have some resources coming back, man. Roman Wilson, right? Obviously him being hurt, that was unexpected, man. And the season of him being injured, IR, and all the other stuff in between, that wasn't what you were looking for. But we did try to upgrade the wide receiver room. You drafted Roman Wilson, you traded for Mike Williams. So clearly they were saying that was a point of emphasis. That was something that they wanted to get better at. But here we are now, playoff game over, and the same thing we was hollering about in the preseason. We need a wide receiver. Still hollering about right now. And I think that's the part that, we got to get better at. In terms of secondary, though, I like their secondary. Still just banged up, but it's like I like the secondary. But wide receivers, like, I feel like that's the spot. I could definitely use another corner, though. Can never have enough of them. Guess see what we do with Dante Jackson. I want that back personally. I like Dante as a fire number 2, man. Dude had 5 picks this year, man. Good eyes, ball skills, tough, will tackle. Just got banged up, especially on the back end. But it's like, man, I want another. I need another corner. I wouldn't mind that. LBs, think we're straight there. We obviously know Peyton Wilson, man. He played a lot down the stretch, man. So we'll see how he continues to develop. Atlanta, I think, has a year left on the deal. Maybe I got to check back with him. But yeah, I'm just like, pieces already there. D-line might want to add one. Think I'm going to add a D-line. Definitely add a D-line, man. Definitely add a D-line, man. Because I felt like whenever we got out of that Benton, Larry, Killer Cam lineup, we would have breakdowns. We would have a little bit too much movement for my liking. And I think we could get better. We've tried. We've definitely allocated some resources, man. Multiple draft picks, stuff like that in that room. But the return necessarily hasn't been there. And I think that that's the part where you say, okay, do we go back to that in the draft? Because at least with Keanu Benton, I feel like that has played well. That we've gotten a nice return on. I feel like with DeMarvin, it hasn't been that. And I think that that's one of the ones that's kind of hurt us a little bit because that was supposed to be a key part of the depth. That was supposed to be a key part of the rotation. So to me, I'm like, I want to bring something else in, whether that is draft or free agency. I want to bring another one of those guys in. I feel confident about Cam. Now, I ain't going to tell you, hey, man, early on, I was like, all right, man, is this the last year for Cam? No. Cam straight. Cam good. We feel good about Cam. All right, feel good about him. But definitely think I want to bring a D lineman in. So, like I said, man, that's kind of where I'm at with it, though. Let's see what else we got in here, though, man. And shout out to y'all, man. Y'all are heavy in the building, man. Y'all hit that like button one time for the culture. Don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel. Heck yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. All right. So shout out. They said, Atlanta Roberts deal is up. Okay. That's what I wasn't sure, but shout out to Let's Go UW on that one. And it was somebody else that said that too, man. I want to make sure I shout y'all out. So y'all rock with me out here tonight, man. On a 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jeez. Ooh, all right. Shout out to Johnny Aguilar. He says, can we talk about Justin Fields? Listen, man. Shout out to Justin Fields, man. Multiple reasons why. First off, the situation he came from to what he came into, not the easiest, right? You get here all season. The talk is, man, this is Russ's team, man. It's going to be Russ, right? You get a chance to compete, but it's going to be Russ. The depth chart comes out and it's Russ. Russ is hurt all training camp, all preseason, essentially, and Fields controls what he can control. Looks great, does all the stuff that he could do right. Regular season hits. Is Russ back yet? No, not yet. All right, cool. 4-2. Minimize turnovers, use his legs, threw the ball well. We really saw an uptick in just his overall professionalism as a quarterback, right? And we felt good about him to the point where people were at one point like, yo, we don't even want to see Russ. We don't even need to see that. Like, let's stick with Fields. We like that. We love it. And obviously we made the switch to Russ. And, hey, man, we got what we were looking for. We felt great about it at the time. But even with that, Fields still handled it the right way every single time. I mean, every time they would talk to him, hey, man, how you feel about this? Hey, man, I get a chance to learn, man. I'm happy, man. Hey, I want to stay here. I want to be back. Like, that's all you hear from him. All you hear. Then every time that they did call his number, man, whether it was that Browns game, whether it was the Bengals game, right, obviously tonight, it's like, man, this dude, first, hey, all right, I'm ready to go. Not pouting on the sideline. He's not refusing to go into the game because he's not getting enough snaps. He's like, man, if this is the only snap I get, man, I get to get one snap, man, I'm happy as heck. Let me go out here and try my best. Like I said, man, I want to get to, right? Not the want to. I get to, right? I get this opportunity. I get the opportunity to go out here and play this game. I get the opportunity. Man, I want that guy, not the, man, I want to be out here. I want this opportunity. You know why? Because eventually he ain't going to want to. I don't want to do that no more. I don't want to go here now. You hurt my feelings. You didn't say what I wanted to say. You didn't put me in early enough. I don't want to go now. Nah, now you got the pouty face. I don't want that. Give me the guy that gets to. Oh, man, I get to do this, man. Hey, bro. I get how many snaps? I get one. Hey, man, I got to get that one, man. Hey, shout out, man. Let's go. It's going to be a great one. I promise you. That's the mentality. And I think, and I personally think that with Justin Fields, man, that's his mentality with this thing, man. And I think that that's why, he's going to continue to progress the way that he is. And yeah, man, I would love for him to be back. Trust me. And like I said, if they want to give him an opportunity, man, I'm open to that. If they want to allow him to give a full offseason of competition, him versus Russ, I'm open to that too. If it's, hey, man, Fields, we bringing you back, how you compete against a rookie, I'm open to that too. But yeah, I would love Fields to be back, man. Trust me. So shout out to you, Johnny Aguilar, man. We got to talk a little Justin Fields in the building. Heck yeah. Well, shoot, my son got his jersey too, so I ain't tripping on it. Hey, now. All right. Let's see. Tons of Fun says Steelers don't have a panic button. Even if they did, they won't push it when they are below. They won't push it when they are above 500. To Rooney Jr., Tomlin earned his extension. I mean, the extension part, it is valid. You extend him because of the fact that he's proven that, yeah, he is a really, really exceptional coach. When you're talking about regular season success, when you're talking about just as a whole, right? He's proven that he's that. But you don't extend it because of the full body work, but it is context to the extension. But you extend it because he's giving you 10 wins back to back to back. Like, or not back to back to back, but you catch what I'm saying? Like, you're in there each and every time. So that's the extension. You're not extending it because of, man, you lost in the playoffs again. No, that's not the extension. Nah. But that's why you do extend them, because of the sustained part. You trust that if I give you more time, you can figure out a way to get me back to where you've already taken me before. It's just a belief part. And for the Rooneys, why wouldn't they believe him? They believed in Coach Tomlin before anybody else did. Remember that, right? Not everybody knew who Coach Tomlin was. He wasn't this proven hire who, oh man, that's for certain. This is the Andy Reid. This is the Pete Carroll. This is the Mike Vrabel. No. They've been believing in Coach T before anybody decided it was cool to believe in Coach Tomlin. So, of course, they're going to be the ones that take the longest time in moving on from Coach Tomlin. Because why? they were the ones who believed in him more than anybody that's going to act like they're ultra diehard and all the stuff in between. Man, no, they were the ones. So you can't fault them when they were the ones who found him. Nah, they did that. So yeah, when they feel like, yo, I'm tired of it, I don't believe it no more, then they're gonna move on from it. Trust me, they will. But when you were the one who went and discovered something, when you found this, it is like, yo, nobody believed it was anything. Nobody believed it was worth nothing at the time, and you found it, and you cultivated it, and you allowed it to get that. Yeah, you're gonna believe in it more. You're going to hold on to it longer. You're going to feel like, yeah, I'm gonna give it another chance. We see it every year with first round draft picks, don't we? Man, that first round is still in there. Why? Man, because they ain't about to cut him. Why? Because they drafted him. They feel like that's their guy. They feel like, yo, I made the decision. I believe in him. I can get it right. That's all it is. Because up until, it doesn't work for these guys. They've overcome so much adversity. They've proven on countless times when nobody believed they could that they were right, that they're going to have conviction in these decisions, man. But, yeah, that's the reason why they gave him the extension, though, man. And Tons of Fun says, Tomlin will never be on the hot seat because one Super Bowl win. I don't agree with that. No, I definitely don't agree with that. Tons of Fun also says, show of hands, how many of y'all think most will say the Ravens are just a better team, that everything is fine, Steelers played well? Man, I like it when you fired up like that, Tons of Fun. Ooh, baby, you get me turned on in here, man. Sheesh. CWK, he says, I am telling you, Moats, if the Broncos win tomorrow, the NFL is scripted. The commentator said the next opponent for the Ravens is Houston. I am blind and I listen well. Now, shout out to you on that, man. Shout out to you. Now, listen, if the Broncos win tomorrow, yes, the NFL is 1,000% scripted. I'm with you 100%. All right. Hopefully that is not the case, though. All right. But we shall see. Hey, man, you saw how the Texans won today, man. Nobody thought they was going to get it done. A lot of people had that Chargers. I know I was picking the Chargers. And, yeah, Houston went out there, that defense. I was like, yo, what the heck? All right. So, we'll see, man. Bo Nick's playing well, too, though, man. Hey, it's the playoffs. Like, I know we want to say, man, that team is bad. But it's like, yo, when you get to the playoffs, we're saying you're one of the best 7 teams in your conference. Anything can happen in the postseason. Anything. And that's why it's funny to me at times when we hear how people would just act like, oh, because you keep losing in the postseason, that makes you terrible. That makes you bad. Like, it's like, no, you're playing against the best in the conference. Like, it's going to happen. Like, I get it. Trust me, I get it, man. You ain't making no, like, you don't make an excuse for it, nothing like that. But it's like, yo, you can act oblivious to it, or you can actually understand what it is and acknowledge it. I just choose to acknowledge it. That's it, man. But trust me, I get it. I definitely do, man. Q, Vera, shout out to Q. Q says, trade Tomlin. He needs to go rebuild the team, get picks, and start over. Man, the only issue with that is Coach Tomlin has the no trade clause. So unless he decides he wants to be traded, he's not getting traded. And you might run into that situation where Coach Tomlin says, you know what, man, I'm tired of it. I want to get traded. Trade me to this team over here. I don't know what a team right now. Trade me to Vegas. I want to take on the Raiders. If he says that, I mean, cool. It is what it is. We'll see, what we look like. We'll see what the draft picks look like and the return on that investment and hope for the best. We still going to be here. It ain't like, oh, Tomlin's gone. We don't cheer for the team no more. Or Tomlin's gone. Yeah, now we're really going to cheer for the team. It's like, no, we still going to be doing the same exact thing, right? Hoping, wishing, and praying that this is the year. And if it's not, then we're going to be saying the same thing. Well, we definitely got to fire this guy because we fired Coach Tomlin after all these seasons. Coach Tomlin was really good. So if this dude ain't had that, man, we definitely got to get rid of this dude. So it's like, man, we're going to be, hey, whatever it is, whatever the decision, baby, I'm going to be rocking with you now. But the trade part, Coach Tomlin is 100% in the driver's seat with that. All right. And Tons of Fun also says, I'm a no one on this team side. We will never get big changes with 10 wins. So, all right. I'm not really sure. I think you're just saying like he's on anyone on this team, he's not rocking with any of them. And he feels like we will never get big changes with 10 wins. I would agree with you. I just, once again, my experiences aren't exclusive to the Steelers. I experienced Buffalo. I experienced Arizona. Pre-Pittsburgh, post-Pittsburgh. So when you bring up we will never get big changes with 10 wins, my experiences make me say, what are you looking for in terms of the big change after 10 wins? Because you're just league-wide, right? The NFL statistics would tell you you are more than likely going to go further away from that 10 wins with this change than you are more than likely to move closer to that ring that you're trying to get back to. If you're already winning the 10 wins, usually just NFL wise, the big changes are 5-win teams, 3-win teams. Those are the guys that get fired. Heck, what was, man, I was trying to think with Andy Reid that last year in Philly. He was like, was it 4 wins, 5 wins tops? It's like, that's when the big change happens. Like that, when you got 10 wins, typically you're not looking for the big change. It's more nip tuck. It's more, how do I fine tune to get me there? Just league wide. That's what the trends are. That's what they do. I don't know what you might do or how I might do it, but I'm just saying league wide. They're not looking for big changes when you're winning 10 games in the season, just because it's proven that not a lot of teams are doing that. So you're already an outlier. You're already ahead of the curve. Now you're trying to figure out, how do I get those extra 1 to 2 here or there to change the playoff outcome? I mean, really, we boil it down to it. We're 1 win away in the 5 games, not even 5 games, because obviously tonight was not what we wanted. But you're 1 win in that 4 games specifically. If you beat Baltimore, you would have daggone won the division. So it's like, even with that, it's like, once again, what's this big change that you're hunting when you're already right there on the cusp of what you actually desire? But once again, it just depends on how you look at it, how you view it. If you don't think it's there, if you don't think any of that mattered, if you think the 10 wins weren't 10 wins, it's like, cool, I understand that. And that's why the approach is what I receive from y'all at times. But hey, man, fire that, man, blow it up. It's terrible. I could definitely dig that. But just like I said, from my experiences, that's why I don't. And I try to communicate that with y'all. So maybe y'all could, see where I'm coming from on it. But I could dig it though, man. Could dig it. All righty. Mike Hood. Shout out to Mike Hood. He says, salute, Mr. Moats. Disappointed, but no one died. There's some context. Jesus. Hey, man, it's positivity, man. God, no. Welcome to the Offseason. Go Buckeyes. OH. All right. He says, salute the GOATs, AJ, and all the chat fam. Sucks, but no, trust me, man. I'm with you. I hate the fact that we're already in off-season mode. I hate the fact that, here we go. We took an L, and now we got to get up here in this doom and gloom all off-season. We can't enjoy it, right? That sucks. But here we are. It's like, what do you want to do? Do you want to sit here and pout all day, all off-season until the next season? And then we're already going to be doom and gloom. Man, we suck anyways. We're only going to win 10 wins again. Then we're going to lose the playoffs again. It's like, geez, man, if winning 10 games is that bad, man, leave me alone. I don't feel like that. I don't share that sentiment, man. I don't. So don't put that on me. But yeah, man, that's the disappointing part, man. It's like, yo, you put all that work in all off season, man. You put all that work in all season. You put all of that in to get to, man, we're in the dance, man. We got a chance. And it's like, oh, you do this? It is done? Now I got to wait how many months to do it again? Like, man, come on. And it's the 8th time in a row. But at the same time, it was the 8th time where it was like, yo, we got a chance. We in the dance. We in the dance. We in the dance. So I get it. I definitely get it, man. Greg Yeager says, can't believe we got the same ending results from last year to this year. Yeah, man, it is crazy how that thing played out. 100%, man. 100%. It felt like it was going to be different at one point, though. I ain't going to lie to you, man. About 5 weeks ago. It felt real different 5 weeks ago. Yeah, life came at us fast though. President Nitty says, looked clean on the pregame show 5-5. What a season. Nah, I salute you, President Nitty, man. Look, on occasion, they had me put on the big boy suit, go out there into the studio and feel real professional. All right, shout out to the homie Max Starks and the big OG Bob Pompiani, man. You know, anytime we get to sit in the booth with or sit on the studio with them dudes, man, it felt real good, man. But yeah, man, shout out to you, man, for tapping in, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. If y'all want to check that out, man, I think it's on the Steelers YouTube now, man. But yeah, man, obviously what was said on that show clearly didn't happen. Huh. But here we are, off-season time, man. Off-season, but definitely with a season, man. And shout out to all of y'all, too, man, that have rocked with the channel, man. The way that y'all did this season, man. We are right on the cusp of 50,000 subscribers on the channel, all because of y'all and the way that y'all, rock with the black and gold, man. And like I said, man, for that, I definitely appreciate y'all, man. You think about all the giveaways we've done as well, man. I feel like we are all the way caught up with giveaways, too. Everybody should have all their stuff mailed out, received by now. So shout out to all of y'all that have been rocking with us as well with that part. But yeah, man, you think about all the content though that gets dropped on the channel, man, the way that y'all rock with it, whether it's the post game solos like we're doing right now, the weekly podcast with me and the homie Deke, TG, right, dropping his solo vids when he's popping up on the show, or excuse me, Coach Galvin, defensive coordinator of Norfolk State, shout out to TG, right, or whether you're talking about dig on Tyler, right? Tyler giving his thoughts, man, with the shorts, man, the amount of content that he's produced for us, or the homie Dom, man, the behind the scenes dude getting all the edits in, man. Shout out to him and some of the turf watches that he was doing. And of course, the homie DD Smalls, man, our behind the scenes dude, man, keeps all the action going the way they're supposed to, man. Like, yo, man, it take a team, but man, all of us and all of y'all, man, doing this thing right, man. So I appreciate y'all from the heart, and we only gonna keep going up from here, all right? So you know what time it is, man. Oh yeah, and shout out to Richard R. Beasley. He says, man, shout out to the great interviews too, man. I totally forgot that right there, man. But yes, man, the countless Steelers, man, that came on the show this season, man, that was dope as heck, man. We got a chance to talk to multiple players, man, rookies, vets, man, everything in between. So yeah, man, and trust me, we only gonna continue to grow and get bigger with that as well, man, because of the show. I mean, the way that y'all show love with us, man. So like I said, man, we only getting started. And I got my big boy Chin at the new studio, man. We feeling good. So yeah, once I get some time to figure everything out, get it set up, I'm starting to get some stuff set up, right? But once I get comfy in here, we gonna cut up, all right? So yeah, but like I said, man, from the heart, definitely appreciate all of y'all, man. So hit that like button for yourselves one time, and don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel. All right, Mike Hood, he says, is it me or did our defense start downward when they put Cam Sutton in the lineup? Just seems like Beanie was growing and getting better, or growing and getting good. No, I think it's easy to try to point to that switch and say, oh, this is when everything went left, but I don't agree with that. Personally, I think that both guys played well. I think that Beanie had better loud moments in the sense of interceptions, whereas I think Cam Sutton, once we got, I forgot the one game where it was like a couple of miscommunications. I felt like it was outside of that one game. So it was more of the consistent part with him. But the issue was you would get a little bit more of the moving pieces. All right, these two guys play one way and see one thing one way, but this guy who usually isn't out there, but due to an injury is playing, he doesn't see it that way. I felt like we ran into that a little bit more so than anything, man. But I think that Beanie did a heck of a job, man. Heck of a start to his season, to his career, man. Undrafted rookie. Think about it, 4 picks on the year, man. Balled out, right? But definitely has some moments where he has some growing pains. And I think that that's part of being a young guy. But I don't isolate that and say, oh yeah, that was what was wrong. No, if anything, shoot, I would say, man, some of the run stuff became more of an issue down the stretch than the pass stuff necessarily. Yeah, so that's why, like I said, from my eyes, I don't look at the campsite that way, man. Let's see. Juice Bellamy, he says, got bad news for y'all. GP tweeted, time for change. I mean, trust me, you tweet what you want to tweet, man. Hey, man, he frustrated. I get it. We'll see how that plays out. We shall see how that plays out, man. Obviously, it's been a unique season for the homie GP, man. And he was a young player. Like I said, we can't use that excuse no more, man. He grown now, man. He completed your third season, man. All right, postseason as well, man. So yeah, it's like, man, you can take the approach of it's not going the way that I want it to go, and I want to do something, and I'm going to make it loud and, try to get some changes. You can do that. Everybody is in control of their own career and everybody's in control of their own decisions. But I would just say to use some caution. Just pause for the cause. We literally seen this just a year ago. Now, granted, DJ found a way to get to the Texans. Got him a postseason win. Shout out to DJ. But DJ's career trajectory since leaving here has looked very different. So I get it. I hope that's not the case, but just take some time, man. Just take some time. And that's for everybody, man. You know what I mean? Like, just take some time with it, man. Don't overreact. Don't talk and say certain things, man. When you're frustrated, just woosah and breathe, man. Just woosah and breathe. But we shall see, man. We shall see. Because like I said, man, it can get rough out here. It can definitely get rough. All righty. Greg Yeager, he says, last bad season we had, we got to draft Big Ben and got 2 rings out of it. I respect on that, man. All right. Like, I don't know enough of the context, man, leading into that, but yeah, shout out to the fact that we did get Big Ben, man. Y'all saw what it looked like, and shoot, we got rings up out of him. That's what you're supposed to do. When you hit the lottery and you actually get one, yeah, it should look like that. But we know the reason why I call it a lottery. How many top 5 quarterbacks, man, actually even play to that level, play that long, had that success? There's a lot more that don't than do. So, yeah, we hit the lottery, and it worked, and we got 2 of them things up out of it. So, trust me, I get the intrigue of going back to that lottery. I get it. Putting all the eggs in that lottery. Trust me, I like it. But there's a lottery, man. Just think about ours and the performances. And the highs and the lows. It's a crapshoot at times, man. So that's all, man. Let's see. Tons of fun says, we all good till we play actual good teams. No. It's not that we play actual good teams. We're playing elite teams. That's the difference. You're playing teams that are legit Super Bowl contenders, whereas we are on the fringe. We are, they call it frauds, but I don't say fraud. I say that we're that team that's the first bubble out, right? If you got the legit, these are the teams that are really going to play for the rings this year, we're on that next tier on that thing, man. At least from my eyes. And obviously the 10 wins reflect that. And you look at the quality of the teams that we did beat, yeah, they reflect that as well. One of our wins is against the same Baltimore Ravens team that beat us 2 times afterwards. So that's why I say what I say with that. But yeah, those teams, yeah, they once again, is anybody going to be surprised if the Baltimore Ravens were to win the Super Bowl this year? Would anybody be surprised if the Kansas City Chiefs were to win the Super Bowl this year? Would anybody be surprised if the Philadelphia Eagles were to win the Super Bowl this year? The answer is going to be no. As a collective, the answer is going to be no. So that's why I look at them as the elite tier teams. Yeah. Whereas you look at Steelers, you look at Broncos, Chargers, Texans. Yeah. People looked at them teams like, I don't know. I don't think they really got a chance. That's why I say, hey, next cut. Right? You're not the elite tier. You're the next cut. Now, it doesn't feel good to hear that. Nah. Because we want to feel like we're the best. And if we're not the best, it's like, well, why do we do it then? Right. I get that logic. But just from the experiences, it's like, man, if you want to get to that level, you don't get there by constantly tearing it up. Nah, that's not how you get there. You get there by giving it time, by believing in it, and by getting resources right? All them teams that are still playing, man, you've seen them go out and number one, go get a QB, right? All them teams got that guy. And the ones that, no, all of them got that guy. Not nothing about it. Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Detroit, you got Goff playing elite. Yeah, you got to have that guy. So we know that part. We definitely know that. But they all got the guy at quarterback. And then when you heard me name them other teams, right? Bo Nix, Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud. See the difference? It's like, all right, some of them we feel really good about. Some of them we're optimistic about. And others is like, I don't really know. Yeah. Haves and have-nots right now, man. So that's kind of how I look at it, man. Them, we're there. And then it's kind of like a lot of the other people around here, man. All right, Christopher Scott. Oh, Lord, we got us old rat bird in the building. He's talking about some Let's Go Flock. Man, you got to chill out with that, man. Y'all ain't gonna get smoked next week anyways, man. But shout out to y'all, man. Y'all did get your dub this week, man. Y'all go ahead, feel good about it. It's all good. But hey, man, y'all take it out next week. It don't matter. All right. Get a Nard. Shout out to Get a Nard. He says 48 points in the first quarter all year long. Absolutely atrocious. He says, this is not sustainable. I'm willing to bet they run it back. Yeah, I am too. Because, number one, I kind of know how they think. And number two, I kind of agree with the logic only if you're actually going to upgrade the pieces. If you bring back the same pieces, I think you're wasting time. I think you legitimately got to go and spend money on a wide receiver. We talked about it last year. We talked about it in this offseason. And it was like, all right, we believe these guys can do it. Okay, cool. We did the experiment. They showed they could not. Can we go get one now? I think that changes a lot. I think Russ is going to give me the closest that I need or closest that I'm going to get to what I'm actually looking for this year. Now, I don't know what's after this year. I think that's a different context. But personally, that's kind of how I look at my quarterbacks right now. That could just be how I am. But that's how I see it. But yeah, 48 points in the first quarter all year long is terrible, man. That means you're not getting off to a fast start. You got to look back at your first 15, which you were scripting up. You got to look back at the overall philosophy, right? It's a lot of stuff that gets thrown into question. It's a lot of stuff that gets critiqued, a lot of stuff that gets combed through, man. Because, 48 points in the first quarter all season long. Shoot, man, it's some teams that scored 21 points in daggone first quarter of games. 2 weeks in a row, man, they gonna got what we done had. So we obviously got to be better in that. And I do think that, once again, upgrading the personnel, it minimizes the need or the emphasis on execution. Right now, offensively, we have to execute. We don't do a lot of 1-2 play scores, right? 3 play scores. We're methodical, right? Even when we get the explosive pass play, it's still, man, we got to snap that ball about 10 times to get a touchdown. That changes when you get an explosive receiver. That changes if I got 2 of them dudes. Because I already seen Russ deliver it. Russ was delivering it tonight on times. But I need a guy that it's like, man, when it was times where they was like, yo, bump that, he's going to throw it to GP, it don't matter. I need the other guy. I need the real, like, yo, that's my dude right there. Yeah, I think that changes out the gate. I think now I could be a lot more aggressive. I don't have to wait and warm up to it. But if we're not going to do that, then, yeah, I think we're going to be wasting time. And that's just real. But, yeah, man, we got to score faster, man. We got to do more because you put your defense in a bind as well. You get to the point where, man, when you keep stalling out, when you keep having 3 and outs, when you keep just not scoring points early in these games, you use up your defense, man. Those dudes are playing a ton of snaps. Those dudes are getting asked to defend over and over and over. Make that tackle over and over. Make that play over and over. And it's like, yeah, we have expectations because they're paid what they're paid. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, now when it's late in the game, we're like, yeah, we need this final stop. We need just 2 stops, right? Just get a stop right here. It's like, yo, y'all running out of gas. So that's the cause and the effect of it. So you can definitely see where we need both parties to pick it up. But that only works if we're a little bit more intentional about the personnel this offseason. So we'll see, though. But that's my perspective. That's kind of how I see it. I'm like, yo, you changed. I get me another bona fide dude to play opposite of GP. if GP is, please GP, just give me. I need you. All right, please chill. But it's like, man, if I can get that with the actual wide receiver opposite of him that can really go crazy, that people are gonna be like, yo, that's not. Oh, all right, I'm gonna live with that. No. That one where you're like, yo, he can't be the reason we lose today, guys. Like, I want that guy over there. We don't have that guy right now. We got the guys that defenses are saying, all right, man, I don't believe he can do that 2 times in a row. I don't believe Calvin Austin can make that catch 5 times in a row. I don't think Van Jefferson can make this catch 5 times. I don't think Mike Williams can make this catch 5 times. That's basically how these defenses are defending us. They're saying, GP, yeah, we think he's capable, so we're going to give him attention. We're going to focus on this run game, but I don't believe your receiver can do that. I don't think your tight ends can do that. And unfortunately, that was the case at times this season. So I think the way that changes is go get you a guy. Because now as a defensive mind, I can't play you like that anymore. I have to. Hey, I got to think about that, dude. Oh, hey, now. Chill. Woo. But until we do that, this kind of the whole approach. Run the ball, pray to be more physical, rope a dope, slow it down, get a turnover at the end. We got him out of there. Boz, where you at? So we'll see, though, man. We will see. Nell Bravo, he says, with 17 yards, is this Najee's last game? I think so. Me personally, I don't know. I don't want it to be. I think that Najee's a heck of a player. I think Najee should be. I think he is one of the heart and souls of this team. He's one of the guys that I'm a fan of. I think that he runs the ball the right way. I think that he brings a certain level of physicality to this offense. But at the same time, we know that he's not the guy that is the force multiplier that some of these other running backs are. I think both things can be true. So with that, yeah, I want him back. But I do feel like if him coming back means I can't get the wide receiver that I truly want, I don't want him back at that expense. I want him back only if I can go and get me whatever I need at wide receiver. If I can do that, then yes, I want him back. Bring him back because I think he's an asset. But if I can't get this because I got to pay him, no, I ain't signing up for that. Can't do it. So, like I said, that's kind of how I look at it, man. And it's not necessarily against Najee, just the value of the position. I can go and still draft a 3rd or 4th rounder and know he's not going to give me Najee's production, but I do feel like if I have a bona fide wide receiver out here, that's going to change how teams are playing me in the box. And I look at Chase Brown, and he's a prime example of how that works out. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase make Chase Brown look way better. Why? Because you can't focus on Chase Brown. You can't. If you focus on Chase Brown, them wide receivers are going to torch you. So that's kind of the approach. That's kind of how I look at it. And it takes a lot more pressure off the offensive line. So we know if our offensive line is still improving, they're still coming along, but they're still young. This mitigates some of the importance on them. And now it gives my other guys opportunities, right? So like I said, that's kind of how I'm looking at it, man. At least tonight. We'll see. Obviously, when the offseason hits, man, I get a chance to chill out a little bit. Still a little fired up since the day-going game. I still, boy, would like to have a whole new, just like physical defense. I would need that, but I digress. I digress. No, and shout out to Derek Maggie. He says Calvin Austin is a dog. No, 1,000%, man. I was super impressed with Calvin Austin this season, man. The way that he really stepped up, man. It was multiple times where, you know, we didn't think that he could do what he was doing this year, man. But I thought the physicality was on display. Even tonight, you saw him take shot after shot this season, man, and hold on to that football. Get up every single time, man, and play fast. Even when he's running back punts, man, that dude plays fast. He plays with a ton of heart. He definitely gets to stay, bro. Hey, I want him here. Heck yeah, I want him here, man. Heck yeah. But nah, man, like, Calvin one of the ones, man. Calvin is most definitely one of the ones. But I just feel like it's tough to operate right now with him as my number 2. I think him as my slot guy, I love him there. I think that he takes advantage of a lot of matchups, but I feel like I need another, like, louder piece. I feel like Van and Mike Williams at times gave me production, and them combined was cool, but I need that bona fide, like, scary guy. And I think that if you go get that, it changes up so much with this offense, man. I think it changes up so much with the way that teams are going to play us from a defensive standpoint. But we will see, man. We will see. All righty. And y'all hit that like button too, man. Since y'all still rocking out 1 a.m. now. Sheesh, how we get here? How we get here? But you know what it is, what it is. I got my comfy chair now, so, you know, I'm in the saddle with y'all. All right? But like I said, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, either if you guys are new to the channel. Shoot. When I told my son I was like 50 subscribers away from 50K, he's like, yo, you should do like a marathon stream, Dad, and just stay on all night until they actually subscribe to you get to 50K. I was like, yeah, that sounds good. That's not what we're doing tonight. I'm just throwing it out there. But that's definitely what he was saying. I was like, hey, man, I guess that is what the YouTubers do, huh? Yeah, we ain't on that. I got curfew. All right. Curfew is bedtime. All righty. Let's see. Jeff H. Yo, Moats, don't let Deke get away saying that was the defense's fault. We have to figure it out and get better offensively. Our defense is tired. Help them. Now, you know, Deke always going to default to putting it on the defense, man. That is what he does, man. To me, though, with defense, it's one of those things where because of the expectations, because of the compensation over there, yeah, a lot of people are going to default to them. So I can understand it. Do I agree with it? No, but I can understand it. So that's why it's like, man, I don't think anybody is like above criticism. I think all of the guys, when you are the highest paid unit, when you're one of the highest paid units, or I think the highest paid unit in the league, yeah, there are going to be expectations. There are going to be things that we feel like are deal breakers, because this is an offensive league where when teams spend the way that we spend on defense, when they spend on offense, we see and we get how they feel and the excitement with that. Whereas with ours, it's like, all right, if we're forfeiting on that, we better get that from you guys. We need the turnovers. We need the splash plays. And that's the part where it was a little bit underwhelming. And that's why it's going to be a lot of those hard decisions, man, being made in terms of, do you restructure? Do you bring this dude back? Man, do I want this guy back? I don't know. Or is it the defense was tired? They played too many snaps. There wasn't enough complementary football being played by the offense to get those guys off the field to help them out. Because some of that is also legitimate as well. So, like I said, for me, man, I can see both of it. I definitely can, man. Samuel Pugh. Shout out to Samuel Pugh. He says, it was me, Moats. LOL. Man, 2016 win was a while ago. Nah, man, you good, baby. Trust me, I'm with you, man. 2016 was a long time ago. The fact that 2016 was the last time we had a playoff win, it still doesn't even seem right. It's like, yo, I was there. I'm older. I'm not old, but I'm older. It's been like a long time. We can't be going that long. I thought it was gonna be tonight, man. I thought the end was gonna be tonight, man. Really thought it was gonna change it, but yeah, clearly that was not the case. I was picking with my heart. I had all my Steelers gear. I'm decked. I'm like, yeah, man. Wife said, how you feel about it? I feel great. Why wouldn't I? Guys gonna show up. They ready to go. And they was sitting at 21 zip. She looking at me like, yeah, babe, you said they was ready to go. I thought, yeah, my bad. They'll show up at halftime. I was sending out text. Hey, we got them right where we want them. Just wait on it. 14, 28. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, we back. I was like, oh, no, we not. So trust me, babe. Trust me. I'm with you. All right, Trent Johnson. Shout out to Trent Johnson. He says, haven't had a good offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator since Dick LeBeau and Bruce Arians. The standard is being mediocre and not even getting past the first round. Now, like I said, man, I could definitely understand that feeling, man, that sentiment on it, man. Definitely can. I think that we did have, in terms of success, man, we obviously know with Dick LeBeau, man, that's a Hall of Fame coach, man. And shout out to Coach LeBeau, man. It's a great day to be alive, man. Hey, Lego. Love Coach LeBeau, man. But, you know, him and BA, man, both of those dudes, yeah, highly proven, man, highly touted. And obviously, BA went on to win a Super Bowl as a head coach down in Tampa. Those are elite, right? Not just regular coaches, elite coaches. So, yeah, you obviously want more of those type of guys, but they're elite for a reason. So you got to keep looking. You got to keep trying to find dudes, man. We've had talented guys come through here, though, so we're not going to act like that. I mean, we're watching Brian Flores right now have a ton of success. We know he was just in here with us a year ago, man. So we've had guys, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you wanted to be better. And that's the part that they got to be better, man. So we'll see, man. We will definitely see. But in terms of the standard being mediocrity, I think that's personal perception. I think just league wide, the standard clearly is above mediocrity because 10 wins is not mediocre. 10 wins is not the average, regardless of how much we as Steeler fans want to minimize it. 10 wins are above average. 10 wins are you're a good team. 10 wins are you're closer to being an outlier than being the norm. So that's just the reality. I know we want to say this, but I'm going to hit you with the analytics, bro. It ain't that. No matter how much y'all keep saying it over and over and over, you're mediocre. This is standard is mediocrity, man. We average, you average. We bad. It's like 10 wins is not that. Regardless of how many times you say it over and over and over, just look at the numbers. The data will tell you 10 wins is not that. So that's just why I don't have that perception with you guys. But I do like the context, though, man. I like the difference of it, man. So shout out to y'all, man. Shout out, baby. All right. Tons of fun. He says, you heard it here first, folks. Ravens to the Super Bowl, signed by Moats. Oh, you funny. He says, that's like saying Steelers never had a chance, but not saying it. Hey, man, shout out to Tons of Fun, man. Hey, I know you like to. Is this gaslighting? I don't even know. Hey, because I know y'all be throwing out these gaslighting. I feel like you just did you gaslight me? Ravens to the Super Bowl, summer. I feel like you just gaslighted me. Hopefully I was using that in the right context. I feel attacked. Yeah, because I for certain want to say Ravens to the Super Bowl. Why would I say that? If you know, you would actually know. I would definitely not say that. But clearly, you just want to attack me. Oh, I'm hurt. Oh, because you don't agree with my perception. Now I have to have this mentality. Oh, I just can't believe this. That's not nice. Now, what if I said that about you? What if I was like, man, you're this because you don't agree with that? Or you're this because you only see that? I didn't do that. So why you want to do me like that, baby? Come on, man. Don't do me like that. That's what I'm saying, baby. Jeez. All right. Pixel Bros. He says, bunch of couch riders criticizing pros. Hold on, I make sure I read you right, Pixel Bros. He says a bunch of couch riders criticizing the pros. LOL. Nah, man, we ain't about to do it like that, man. We are not doing that tonight, Pixel Bros. Everybody's opinion is valid because it is your opinion. Now, we all don't have to agree with it as a whole, but if you're watching the game and you're like, listen, man, I am tired of watching us run the ball and it not work out, man, that's a valid feeling. Now, in terms of the professional side of it, we might look at it and say, well, the reason why it's not working is because this guard isn't getting enough movement right here. That linebacker is a lot better than this running back right here. Oh, and man, we can't figure out how to block this safety who keeps coming down and making the free play right here. That's the context with it. But it still doesn't change the feeling of, yo, man, I want us to be better with this. So that's why I was like, man, everybody, regardless if you played or not, your feelings are valid. It's just the context of everything is what changes it. So that's why you will find people that have this opinion, and a lot of people might agree with the opinion, but it necessarily isn't valid in terms of right versus wrong, or if this is legitimate strategy to make you successful. And I think that that's the part that us as like the former athletes or the professionals, we come in and we provide a little bit more of that type of nuance. And yeah, it's up to you guys to either receive it and care about it and be like, you know what, that makes sense. I could change my perspective a little bit on that. Or you can look at it and say, man, you're an apologist. You never actually call this guy out. You don't ever want to change anything. You're cool with mediocrity. Oh, it's because Tomlin is your guy. It's because Mr. Rooney pays you. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's one way or the other. Everybody's going to have their feelings on it. But that's why I just say whatever you say, just say it with conviction. If you feel like I'm the apologist, just say it with conviction and truly mean it. If you feel like, all right, you really like this or you really don't like it, just whatever you say, just say it with conviction, baby. That's it. That's it. But shout out to Willie T23. He says, if the draft was today, what position you taking for the Steelers in round one? If I haven't signed them in free agency, I'm drafting a wide receiver. It is that simple. I kind of want to go free agency for my wide receiver, get the proven production, but I just don't know who just yet. But if I don't sign him in free agency, I'm drafting wide receiver in round one. That's what I'm doing. I'll figure out the rest of it later. But yeah, I'm going wide receiver in round one. I'm not touching offensive line again. I'm tired of going offensive line. All right. I get the importance of it. I know why we try to do it, but I need a receiver. And I can't help but look at Cincinnati and how when everybody said you should draft Penei Sewell, they went and drafted Jamar Chase. Now, granted, Detroit Lions have had a lot more success with Penei Sewell on his roster, but the Bengals went to a Super Bowl. The Bengals went to an AFC Championship. The Bengals have had a ton of success with Jamar Chase. So I'm like, yo, we're going to get one of them. I want one of them. I want a weapon. I want a bona fide weapon. I'm tired of coming in with just the bulletproof vest, all the defensive tactics in the world, all the shadow, smoke, and mirrors. I'm tired of that. I actually want to fight back now, you know? I want to be able to come back and say, hey, I know all this, defense, but let me show you this offense real quick. Like, let me show you this offense real quick. Like, I want that, man. Can I get back to give me something now? I think I can get one of them in the draft or in free agency, but that's what I want to show back up with. I'm tired of showing back up with just, hey, man, you win some and you lose some, but you live. You live to fight. I'm tired of that, bro. I'm tired of that. It's been 8 years in a row. My lip is bleeding. All right, I got lumped up time and time again with this defense. Bro, I want to smack somebody. I want to come out and strike first. And how can I strike first? I need a weapon. Wide receiver gives me that, especially in today's NFL. We see glimpses of it with GP. So I'm like, I could get it in the draft, but if I can go ahead and buy me one, I'll go buy me one in free agency. But that's what I want. That's my big change. Y'all can have all this coaching stuff. I feel like the coach stuff is hustling backwards. That's why I don't waste time doing a lot of talking like that, because I feel like I'm going to create more chaos than I am getting me closer to winning that ring. I think if I get me my receiver, though, way different convo. Way different convo. But until I get that, here we are. You want to fire this coach? You want to fire that coach? Do you want to blame it on this guy? It's like, no. I know what I need. Y'all might not want to care. I know what I've been wanting them. Preseason. It's on tape. Solid about in the preseason. It's on tape. That's the guy I want. I've been telling you, I need a receiver. But we'll figure it out, man. We'll figure it out. And shout out to the guys, though, man. All right, because I don't want nobody to take that the wrong way either, man. I know we had guys with the team this year. And it was like, yo, y'all played well. But y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all saw it. We holler about, man, why we ain't passing the ball? Where's the passing attack? Show me the guy that's creating the bona fide separation, consistently winning the one-on-one. Show me that guy. Show me that guy that's just, it doesn't matter what type of coverage you put on him. When Jamar Chase, we were trying to double team him. Corey Trice, you sit here, they going make it get over top. You think it mattered? It didn't matter. Because that dude is that nice. It does not matter when you got that type of guy. I'm just saying, I'm going to go get me one of them. I'm trying to go get me one of them. Do I need to go get it in free agency? Do I need to get it in the draft? However I get me a dude, I want a dude at wide receiver. That's what I want. But we shall see how it plays out. All righty. Let's see. Got the homie Richard R. Bezo in the building. He says, let's see. Coach T, hot seat. Because all in on number 3 and 14 yet. Not okay. It says Coach T is on the hot seat because he's all in on Russ, but GP hasn't been consistent just yet. Excuse me on that. And yeah, I would agree, man. But no, the hot seat is real. 8 consecutive first round losses in the playoffs. That's way too loud. Your hot seat is hot. Like, it's hot. Yeah, that's real life. We could talk about the other stuff all we want to, but yeah. That's the one for me, man. That's the one. 8 in a row. That's tough. Last one is in 2016. That's forever ago. So with that being the case, yeah, you got to get a dub somewhere, man. And how do you do that? It's one of two things. Either you bring in some personnel and we give it one last go for the Gipper, or we got to make that change up top and just say, man, philosophy-wise, it's not that you've lost the message because the guys are responding to you. But as a whole, your philosophy just isn't adequate enough. The defense. So if it got to that, that's the approach. That's the change. But right now I look and I say, man, give me a wide receiver. Give me that guy. Let's make that switch or add that weapon to this toolbox. And now let's go from there, man. Let's see. And yes, Tom Jade, it is 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's about 1:15 over here. But you know what, man? I'm vibing out, man. Listen,
I'm in the new spot, so I'm at the top of the spot. I'm in the upper room for real life. All right, it's a little chill up here, so I can have all the fun I want, man. Talk up here all night. I got my comfy chair. I got the cool mic too, man. So I ain't got to worry about the battery dying on me no more. Like, yo, the battery good? Is it plugged in or not? Nah, bro, I'm solid. Even got me a little plant in the background too, man. Shout out to the palm tree. All right. So yeah, man, we good. And yes, Richard Arbizo, the comfy chair for sure. Yeah. Remix understand. I'm in the new Bat Cave, man. In fact, because the old spot was in the basement, right, with no window. This spot is on the top floor. Got the window. I literally got a mat that says the upper room because so we in the upper room, baby. So yeah, we straight right now. We solid, baby. So we got time. All right, we're gonna get to it. I still see a ton of supers in here. We got time. All right. Clearly, I ain't got nothing to do tomorrow. Season's over now, So I probably just sleep it. All right. Jeez. But here we go, man. Here we go. So you hit that like button, man, one time for the culture. Don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel. Tons of fun. Says Moats likes the Steelers. Moats like the Steelers. W or L, they both get paid. I mean, that's the professional part of it. If you do something at a high level for long enough, yeah, you earn the right to get compensated regardless of the outcome. But when you are really, really successful at it, you get compensated at a very high level. So, yeah. That's why us Steelers do get paid a lot to do this, regardless if you win or lose. Right. But it doesn't take away the emotion of it. It doesn't take away the actual care of it, because the difference is this. For the guys that are compensated win or loss with these games, we're also the guys that put the time in throughout the week. We're also the guys that make them sacrifices away from my family every single time. And we didn't just start doing it at this level. We've been doing this since we were kids. I know I started at 4 years old, man. So it's like, yeah, you put in that much work. So for 20 plus years of dedication to it, yeah, you earn the right to get that compensation, win or loss. So once again, you can look at it and call it what you want to call it, or you could be real about it. Most people don't like that real feeling because now it's starting to make you feel some type of way. That's the only thing I would say with it. You feel me? So win or lose, yeah, it is that. But why is it that? And ask yourself the question in reverse. If we gonna go there with it, you dig what I'm saying? But with that being the case, shout out to the homie Antonio Jackson. Shout out to Antonio Jackson. He says, how do you feel about how we kept crashing the outside linebackers down to play the run? It seemed to go against the way we've defended them in the past. Now, that's real, man. The way that we've done it in the past is we've asked our outside linebackers to essentially play both, right? Cheat the dive. If Lamar pulls it, react back to him, because yeah, they're capable of doing that. But the difference is this: the quality of running back. It's never been a Derrick Henry there. When you throw a Derrick Henry into the mix, that changes so much with this day, man. Why does it change so much? Because this dude is 2,000 yard rusher in his own right, with the end with 1,900 yards on the ground this year, a ton of touchdowns. Like, that's a guy that you have to respect. That's a guy that you have to take time to say, you know what? Let me be locked in on this dude, man, because otherwise he could hurt me tonight. And we saw, even with us taking the approach of we're going to stop the dive and allow Lamar to pull it, they still had Derrick Henry run for 180 something yards, man. So that lets you know the caliber player that he is. But that was the approach. It was like, man, if I can't stop both, let me get this guy. And then that dude, I'll worry about just him as a whole. We'll figure it out with Lamar. But when both of them dudes got going the way they was going, it's like, man, we can say what we want to say now. It's like, shoot, Derrick Henry hitting you in the middle, and then Lamar cooking the way he's cooking. It's like, all right, how y'all want to do it? I don't know. But that was why the approach was that, man. But once again, the execution has to be there. You saw where it was working, or at least getting the result that we wanted, right? We would get TJ would crash down, take the dive off the equation, and that was Lamar Jackson one-on-one with the free defender. It wasn't like the defender was being blocked. It was a free defender. And we saw a couple of times where that free defender ultimately wasn't able to make the play on Lamar Jackson. Now, part of that we're going to say is what? Lamar Jackson's a great player. Or is he not? Y'all tell me. Because to me, I look at Lamar and I'm like, yo, Lamar is nice. So when you got a one-on-one with that, man, you praying that your guy is good enough to make that play, but there is a strong possibility that Lamar's going to make that guy miss. And that was what was happening tonight. Now, Problem is, the person he was making miss, we don't necessarily want to see him missing like that. But that was the case. So we can make it more than what it was. We can literally go right back to what we started this thing out with. Personnel, you better than that, or are you not better than that? Because if you're not better than that, then we got to change the way that we spending this money. But if you are better than that, then go out there and show it, and let's make this thing happen the way that it's supposed to happen. Because I think that we're capable if we do that. So, but once again, that's just how I look at it on it, man. All right, tons of fun. He says context is as long as we aren't the worst. We don't have to be the best. This is Bob Nutting 101. As long as you fill seats and sell merch, it's okay. We can agree to disagree on that. I think selling merch, filling seats, and what the Steelers are doing are two different things, but I get it. I definitely can understand. From your eyes, it is all bad. And if that is how you truly feel, man, I can dig it. Promise you I can. I'm not trying to change your perspective. Tons of fun. And I pray that you're not trying to change my perspective. Because newsflash, I'm not about to change my mind. And I hope I'm not about to change you on your mind. I want you to have that same conviction, man, and stand on what you feel. But yeah, for me, man, I don't share that sentiment. So it's like, I like it though. Shout out to you, baby. You are tons of fun too, man. Heck yeah. Richard R. Bezo in the building. He says Tomlin needs to be back, but no free agent does. No, man. I feel like, man, you got to have some of these free agents come back, man. Let's see. Deshaun Elliott for certain. Definitely need him back. Let me think. Man. Like I said, I want Najee back, but I only want Najee back if I can still have my receiver. If I can't get me a guy at wide receiver, then Najee would have to leave. Let's see. Ooh. Well, yeah, I guess we ripped the Band-Aid off on Dan Moore, let him leave. We're going to bump Broderick to left, throw Troy at right. And, yeah, we're going to let that live, see what that looks like. Jalen, bringing Jalen back. Yeah, because Jalen was a 3-year dude, unrestricted. So, yeah, I mean, he ain't really going to have any rights, though, like that. No way. But I'm definitely bringing Jalen back. Let me think. Who else are we bringing back? Man, that might be it for right now. All right. Because I still got to figure out my quarterback. Yeah. If it's knee jerk, I'm going to bring back both. But I don't think I'm going to keep Justin. I think Justin going to hit the market because I think he can get opportunity somewhere else. But if I could bring them both back, I'm running back with Russ. But I could definitely see where, yeah, if Russ want more, then, yeah, money. I can't do, we can't upgrade that price now. I can't do that. The end of the season wasn't what I wanted. It was too much inconsistency. It was too much of the highs and lows. Even tonight, it was too much of the highs and lows. First half, it was 60 yards passing. Then you get in the second half, and it's like, oh, man, you're cooking. All of a sudden, we look up, it's like, yeah, you got 200-plus yards passing, 2 tutties. Like, oh, sex was all right. Statistically, you look good. But we still know what we felt, though. So I'm like, I can't pay you, babe. Can't do that. But it's like, yeah, I want to run it back with it. I would do that, but I got to get my wide receiver. Whatever gets me my wide receiver is the guy that I want. If I can't get my wide receiver, then, yeah, I got to start cutting corners. You got to go, you got to go, you got to go. But whatever gets me that bona fide dude out there, yeah, that's the one I want. The Don. Shout out to the Don. He says, trade Tomlin. I saw this guy say, it doesn't matter who they hire after him. It literally can't get worse. Whoever you get, I am sure they can win 0 playoff games in 8 seasons. I mean, whoever's perspective that is, shout out to them. The only thing worse than, not winning 8 playoff games in 8 seasons is not being in the playoffs for 8 seasons. So it's always worse. The other worse than that is picking top 5 8 seasons in a row or, multiple times in 8 seasons. We've seen them teams too, man. So they said, man, there are multiple ways it can always get worse. I remember at one point, I think it was 2020, the Browns playoff game we lost, right? Right at the crib, man, Ben's last game. And it was like, yo, the O-line can't get any worse. Man, Pouncey got to go. This guy can't get any worse. And since then, we're like, yeah, it's been multiple times. We're like, yeah, we wish it could have got back to that. So I get the doom and gloom. I get the, the sky is falling. I get that we should be, this is tragic, this and this and this. But at the same time, I'm not the guy that goes overboard like that. I don't do the overreacting. Like, there is some context. And that's why I look at that and I'm like, before I just simply say this because it makes me feel good in the moment, let me actually just pause and look at the facts. Let me look at all the variables here, man. And then that's how I make my decision, man. All right. Shout to Let's Go UW. He says, Cam Sutton is the worst free agent signing this year. I mean, he's cheap. I'm just thinking about the vet, man. So, sure, if that's where you want to, go with it, it's a vet minimum signing, man. So, what are your expectations with a vet minimum signing to make it the worst signing this year? That's all. All right. Shout out to Maximus, though, man. The homie Maximus, he says, it's not just one game. It's 10 plus years. We can't keep living in our fears. What if the next coach is the next Reed or Belichick? Something has to change. Nah, I'm with you, man. Shout out. We ain't living in our fears. Nah. I just don't think that the Rooneys make change for the simple sake of making change. And I think that that's the disconnect with how people view the organization at times. Some people just want change. They want action. They just want to feel something. So it's like, just change anything. I don't care what it is. Just change it. I don't care. Just figure it out. Fire him. I don't care. We'll figure it out later. But for the Rooneys, and the organization, they're like, we've gotten here for a reason. We've gotten here because of our method. We trust it. We know our process, and it's delivered a ton of success. That's why the Steelers is viewed as one of the top franchises in professional sports. That's why we talk about the 6 championships. We talk about the Mount Hall of Famers. We talk about under Coach Tom and no losing season, all these other things, right? It's because they believe in their method. And you're a diehard fan. A lot of us are because of what? That same proven method. You know why we're diehard fans? Because they win a lot. You know why they win a lot? Because of this method, because of this methodical approach, because of this not just overreacting and making changes out of emotion. No, they take their time, they view the factors, and then they make sure they got a solid plan and they make their move after that. So that's the reason why they act how they act. So trust me, I get the 10 plus years of no playoff wins, the 8 consecutive first round losses. I get all of that. But at the same time, it's like for the Rooneys, they're not just jumping at the first opportunity to jump ship. Because if that was the case, they would have never got to where they are in the first place. And that's, I think, like I said, one of the big disconnects of why they're more patient with this process, why they believe a lot more in the piece that they already have in there than we do. And shoot, I believe more than a lot of you guys because I'm closer to it being a former player. But they still believe in personnel way more than I believe in. You hear I talk about some of the guys, I'm like, man, I don't think that's good enough. I think we need this. Internally, they're like, nah, that guy is good enough. That guy can't do this because they went and got him. So it's a little bit different when, like I said, man, when it's you being the person making those decisions, when it's you being the person that's going to get that one and saying, I validate, I stamp that one, I vouch for that one. I'm hiring that one. I'm paying that one. Yeah, it matters a little bit more to you. Whereas when you have no skin in the game, which us as the consumers are, we have zero skin in the game. So it's a lot easier for us to be like, oh yeah, you suck. Fire him. Oh, he sucks, man. Trade him. Oh, he sucks. He ain't good. It's easy to do that because we have nothing in this. We have zero invested. Now imagine if you were the ones making the investments. Imagine if you actually had your skin in this game. Yeah, and you were meticulous and you were the one who handpicked each and every person in here. Yeah, you're going to have a very different approach as well. You're also going to be the one that when everybody's like, that guy sucks, fire him. You're going to be like, nah, you suck. He don't suck. You suck. That's what you would say, right? Because you went and hired him. You took your time. You picked him out. You trust your evaluation, right? You trust your staff. So it's the same thing. We just don't see it that way because we're, caught up in the emotion of it, which is real. But like I said, that's the context though when you're talking about why we're not getting that change that everybody is like desiring or a lot of people are desiring right now. It's like, but this is that first step. It's like, when you get to this stage, it's loud, it's super hot.
I don't think you can have another year like this. I don't. But I think you got to go through the year to actually figure that out. I don't think you can make that, or I don't think they make that decision right now. So if they're not going to make that decision, how do we get the desired results? Give me a wide receiver. Tell you that. I need one. All right. Tons of Funny says, you all can call me a fake fan. No one's calling you a fake fan. I think you're the opposite of a fake fan. I think you're actually a diehard fan. Tons of Funny, I would say, I don't know who called you a fake fan, but you're not a fake fan. He says, but until we win another Super Bowl, this means more than culture. I'm going to keep this same energy. Now, respect on that, man. Hey, like I said, if that's your standard, man, don't come off of that. Trust me, the Steelers aren't. You go inside that building. No one in there is talking about anything less than the Super Bowl. Regardless of what media might tell you, regardless of what your friends and family might tell you, I can tell you firsthand because I've been in there. I've been in there recently. I know the messaging. It has not changed. That's real. But at the same time, you know how hard it is to get one of them things? A lot has to go into it. A lot has to go right, man. And unfortunately, they got close. And why do I say they got close? Because you're in the playoffs. Close is the playoffs. You cannot win a Super Bowl unless you are in the playoffs. So they got close in terms of getting to the dance. But in sense of actually making a legitimate run, you fell flat on your face. So yeah, man, keep the same energy because internally they are going to keep that same energy as well. They aren't just going to sleep comfortably tonight, regardless of who get paid and how much you get paid. You know why? Because you care. The guys care. You don't make it if you don't. So that does matter to them. But at the same time, we got to find out, do you got the right pieces in there? And that's the thing that those guys getting paid the big bucks are going to be evaluating and also making the decisions on. So we will see how that plays out. But yeah, you definitely not a fake fan, Tons of fan. Don't let nobody tell you a fake fan, baby. He says, don't change. Just do the same thing over and 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 over. Well, man, it has breeded him a ton of success. We would say as a whole, Steelers are one of the top franchises. 6 Super Bowl rings would validate that, even under Coach Tomlin. He's had a ring as well. So there is validation in their conviction. But at the same time, yeah, we want more recent success. And I think that there is a way to communicate that. We can just say we want to win now, right? But in terms of the culture, in terms of the, they do it over and over and over. Yeah, they do it over and over because they're getting 10 wins. That's why they're doing it over and over. But yeah, we do want more. And I think that we all agree upon. But I think we could want both things. I don't think it has to be, if we don't win Super Bowl, we need to be terrible here. I don't agree with that logic. That's like when people tell me, yeah, if you lose in the championship, that's bad. If you keep losing and you keep losing, it's like, no, it ain't. You keep playing in it, right? You playing in it, you playing in it, you playing in it, so you get a chance. That's kind of how I see it, man. So I think both things can be true. We can definitely have this big desire for postseason success, and that matters a heck of a lot. But at the same time, we're not this god-awful team that is incompetent and can't figure out how to do anything. You had 10 wins. You already had your locked up playoff spot multiple weeks remaining in the season. So clearly you're doing something right. Clearly. But you're clearly doing something wrong. And I think that both of those things are true. And that's the part where, because we're trying to figure it out. How do you get there? How do you get that next thing to get back there? Because we're getting this part. We're crossing over into the postseason, but 8th year in a row now. 8th consecutive time. Wow. One and done. So. All right. Remix. He says, drafting Kenny Pickett instead of Tyler Linderbaum set us back. I mean, we say that now, but at the same time, I mean, how many people were on board with the Kenny pick? We got us a quarterback, right? Ton of people on the Kenny pick. Ton of people love the Kenny pick because it's a quarterback, and he was a first-round quarterback. And everybody said, if you draft a quarterback in the first round, it's going to work out. It has to. But we saw it didn't. I don't think that we would have looked at if we would have drafted Tyler Linderbaum and we're rolling out with, because that would have been Mitch Trubisky because Haskins had passed away by then. If we're just rolling out with Mitch and whoever, on the roster as the backup quarterbacks because we drafted Linderbaum, I don't think that we would have been excited about that. Nah. But I do feel like, man, when you miss on a first rounder, it does set you back because you're counting on that guy at least giving you 4 to 5 years, at least 4 years, of production.
starter supposed to be if you're a first rounder. So when you don't get that started, when you don't get that production, when the dude isn't even on your roster after 3 seasons, yeah, that's going to put you in a bind because you essentially wasted I don't want to say you wasted the pick, but in theory, you wasted the pick. So now you're playing catch up. Now you're trying to figure out how to mitigate the loss of the first rounder not developing to what you wanted it to be. And the pivot for us was we brought in Russ and Justin Fields. So you're able to get back to 10 wins and kind of go from there. But we're still back in the same exact boat because the first rounder that we did draft a couple years ago, it didn't hit. So you're either going to run this back with a Russ or Fields, or you try to draft another first rounder and pray that that one works. But you already can see how if you miss again, how it sets you back further and further and further. All right. The homie Farron Bradford is in the building. He says time to beef up the D-line and get another cornerback. D-line, definitely could use another D-lineman, man. I'm with you on that. And corner for certain, man. I think it depends on what we do with Dante Jackson. Because obviously with D-Jax, man, bought out, but he'll be a free agent. So we'll see what that looks like, man, in terms of contract. But I would love for him to be back, man. I think that he was a great complementary piece to JPJ. Feel good about Beanie Bishop. Know we got him on the cheap for the next 2 more years. And then we'll see what he do contract-wise. Cam Sutton, I got to see what he wants contract-wise, man. I think if he's coming back cheap, man, give him a full offseason. I like what him and Beanie could do together. But I don't want to pay it anything crazy. I don't want to pay it at all. I think that you leave it as regular, hey, vet man, give me a full all season. Let's see what your play looks like with a full year here versus you're here, but you're suspended. You don't get to be around. Now you come back and it's hop on the moving train. I don't think that put him in the best situation. I don't think it put the defense in the best situation. But I would like to see him back with the full off season where him and Beanie and the coach staff can figure that out a lot better. And then we go from there. So that's why, like I said, I'm more on the wide receiver versus the corner element of it. I thought that for Corey Trice, man, he got a lot of good experience this year. And with him, I think he just has to stay healthy. If he can continue to stay healthy, he'll get more reps. The more reps he gets, that's going to make him a better player. We've already seen him improve, but at the same time, we saw him have to play against Jamar Chase, and it wasn't what we were looking for, even with the double teams. So that's the part for him where we want more. We want him to improve, but he was still very young with not a ton of experience, man. So you see some good stuff with him, but you just got to give him time to develop. If you chop him out before he gets the chance to really get his legs up under him more and more, then it's like, man, we're kind of not really giving him the opportunity. But at the same time, he has to make it worthwhile. If he's not, then I could totally understand why they would, go out there and draft another corner and say, man, we got to upgrade this position even more. This isn't enough in here. I think if Dante Jackson isn't back, you're going and getting you a corner early, though. All right, ASAP Yams. Jeez. ASAP Yams, Lord. R.I.P. to ASAP Yams. Your name is ASAP Smalls, but I was thinking about ASAP Ferg because literally ASAP Ferg was just talking about how he feels like ASAP is done because, yeah, they don't put music out there anymore. And he was like, yo, it ain't no more ASAP Rock and ASAP Ferg. It's just he's Ferg. So when I saw ASAP Sams, it made me think of that. So shout out to you, ASAP. I had to get some context on that one, man. Says, let this team ride for one more year. A lot of issues can be fixed in the draft/free agency, which I do agree. Not going to build team chemistry by pointing fingers. I do agree. Good game, still a nation. Much love, Moats. Tapping in with you before the draft. Nah, salute to you, ASAP Smalls. And anytime you rocking out, man, it's all love, baby. You know that. But yeah, I do feel like there are a lot of these issues that can be fixed via draft and free agency if we actually do it the right way. And part of that, like I said, I think priority number one has to be not cutting a corner and going and getting a bona fide guy at wide receiver. I think if you do that, feel a lot better. But we can't keep doing the cheap route. I know sometimes we want to we don't want to spend that much on that player. Or we would never do that for this guy. And it's like, that's cool. But if we save all the money because we don't want to be the one to pay the most, we don't want to be the one that had to do that. It's like, well, do you like what the results were then? I personally don't. So if I don't like the results, I want the upgrade. I want to go out there and buy my thing. You feel me? It's like, man, if you don't like your surroundings, change it. I want to go change them. I want to spend that, bring that, and now let me get to what I want to get to. But I don't think you can get there by cutting corners. I don't think you can get there by doing the cheaper. I think you got to spend some money. If you don't, I think we're going to be back in that same, you got to be perfect. You can't have any mistakes. Everything has to go completely 100% right. Otherwise, you can't overcome any adversity. I don't want to keep doing that no more. I don't personally, I'm like, yo, we could try something different now. We could try being a little more offensive. We could try a little bit more aggressive, trying to score. And I think wide receiver gives you more of that. AJ Martinez, man. Shout out to AJ Martinez, man. Showing love, man. Dropping off 5 upper room memberships, man. Paying it forward, man. So shout out to AJ being an absolute rock star at life. And to those 5 people that AJ blessed with the membership, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All righty. Let's see. Oh, man, we stacked out tonight, bro. I see y'all in the building. Super chat's going crazy, bro. Y'all are, man, it's 1:40 a.m. and y'all still rocking out. Well, hit the like button then. Don't forget to subscribe either if you're new to the channel. We've been in here streaming so long, they didn't start the replay of the game. Lord, I'm watching. Who's this catching this daggone pass? It's the third quarter, 21-7 all over again. Why I got to watch it again? I'm about to turn it off. I don't want to watch it again now. God, dog. Jay Fro said he been like that. Yeah, he probably like 2 hours ago, man. Richard RB said we're going to hit 50K tonight. Nah, low key, I ain't even trying to do that, but we might low key do that, man. Sheesh. Cause it's kind of crazy, man. It is kind of crazy. Yeah, but we just gonna keep it rocking, man. All right, we good. We in the building. But yeah, man, I'm tired of watching this game. Like, yo, it really popped back up. I'm just like, yo, it's 21-7. I feel like it's deja vu. Like, how we get here, man? Craig Ellis talking about, so let's hit that 50K, Moats. Listen, I know we close. We was, like I said, 50 off before we started the stream tonight. So I know we gonna get there. But I'm like, yo, we just hitting these supers. All right, because a lot of y'all are here tonight, and I want to make sure. It's been a minute since we streamed, man. Since we didn't really have time to just cut up. So, you know, that's why we doing what we doing. But yeah, you know, that was like, it was 142. They really got the replay short. Like, TJ came back with his elbow brace on. Like, God, dog. I remember when it happened, I'm like, TJ, come on now. Shout out to the Don Hefe Quan. He called about, yo, subscribe. Tyler from the 334 said, yo, you got to call up Deke, man. Deke probably sleep by now. Man, it's 1:43 in the morning, man. Or Deke might be properly hydrated, getting his feelings. Oh, my God. Just show the Derrick Henry touchdown run. Yep, that changed a lot. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm about to turn that one off. I don't want to watch that no more. That hurt my feelings. Farron Bradford says Broderick Jones got about 6 games at left tackle next year. I know he was good for most games, but his play is not up to par. We picked him over Gonzalez, and I'd like a do-over. And he's talking about Christian Gonzalez, the corner that went to the Patriots, if I remember correctly. He says, let's get Coach T more talent to work with. And no, I agree with that, man. I definitely want Coach T to have more talent. And I think a part of that is upgrading the offense with more resources. I think right now we are heavy on defense, but the production isn't consistent enough at this stage. So that's why it's time to have that real hard convo of, do I really believe that they can keep doing it? Or do I need to restructure some of that over there so I can free up money for my offense? In terms of Broderick, yeah, we don't have a long leash with that. But at the same time, if you allow Dan Moore to leave, I don't think you have a ton of options going forward as it pertains to Broderick and his play. I think you essentially handcuff yourself to that decision of Broderick being at left, Troy being at right, and that has to be the right answer. I think if you keep Dan Moore, it muddies it up even more for the room. I don't think they want to keep Broderick at right if Troy is going to be coming back. I think they want Troy out there. When you're talking about Dan Moore, it's like, yeah, we felt good at times about Dan, but we didn't feel like it was to the point where we don't want to ever see Broderick at left tackle. And I think that that's part of the convo that those guys are going to be having when you're talking about Pat Meyer and stuff like that, Coach T, Arthur Smith, man, those are going to be the combos. But I could definitely see it where they would allow Dan Moore to leave and then they give Broderick his full go at it next year. I'm still back and forth on it because, like I said, I felt a lot better about Dan Moore, especially as the season progressed. But I do know athletically, Broderick has a very high ceiling in comparison to Dan Moore. So my hope is if you put him back at the left tackle spot, which was obviously where we drafted him to be at, let's see if that is the difference in his development so that way he could be a lot more consistent versus some of the up and down that we've been seeing. But to just assume that because Broderick played left tackle in college and he played well in college, he's going to do it at the league, I don't personally agree with that. I need to see you play well at this level to believe you're going to play well because it's been too many dudes that come into this league, high-end draft picks that don't have that consistency throughout their career, that don't develop into the all-pros or the Hall of Famers that we all feel like they should be at some point in time when, we're talking about them pre-draft process and stuff like that. So Broderick, to me, still would need to prove it at left tackle. But I am open to that, though, man. From my eyes, I think that, it at least would potentially give us a chance to up the ceiling or, up our floor a lot more. But we do run a risk with it because obviously with Dan, I felt like the consistency from Dan was a lot better than what we're getting from Broderick. All right, remix. He says, take the green dot off of Patrick Queen, give it to Minka. Trust me, I don't think PQ would hate taking the green dot off. In fact, some dudes, man, it's more of a relief. You get a chance to just breathe, play freely, and not have to worry about being the leader, the talker, the guy that sets everybody up, and then get to your work. So it wouldn't be a slight to him, but I don't think they're going to do that. Think they want PQ. I mean, PQ is getting paid a ton, and PQ, man, makes a ton of plays, man. Obviously, we know that there's certain things with him, like his tackling. We want him to be a lot more just improved in, more buttoned up in. But yeah, they ain't taking the green dot off of him, man. Nah. Yeah, they're not doing that. They're not gonna do that. But I like the idea, though. I definitely see what you're going with, though. All right, tons of fun. He says, do you really think Tomlin's on the hot seat? Or will Rooney Jr. say it's okay, just get smothered? Or say it's okay, just get smothered, 9 to 10 wins? I mean, I told you how I feel about it. Now, you might not believe me, but I've already told you my truth. So that's that. But like I said, it's truly up to you if you really want to believe it or not. I could say it 1,000 times, and that's why I say I don't really talk to try to influence or change your perspective. I'm just giving you the context, and obviously y'all got the question, so I just react to that from the way that I see it from my personal experiences. But if you don't agree with me, man, that's cool. I promise, like, I'm not gonna be upset with you. We ain't about to walk around and be like, man, I got beef with tons of fun casino. It's like, nah, man. It's like, yo, you just didn't agree. Cool. It is what it is, man. So to me, I've already answered that, man. But like I said, you might not agree with it or you might not believe me. But like I said, kind of told you how I felt about that one. All right. AJ Martinez. He says, I left the hospital overnight. Overnight stay because of the Steelers game. Lord. Hurt my heart too. Trust me. He says, doctor said, you got to stay. I said, no way. Got to go see my man Steel. Let's go. Now I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And hopefully next year, they're going to deliver for us a lot better. Because, yeah, they hurt our heart. They hurt us again. They hurt us. We was all believing. Had us all hyped up. Kids was all late jerseys. We was all feeling good about it. And then you watching, you just like, bro, you really did this tonight? Of all nights, you really going to do this tonight? Like, really? We even got snow outside. It's a beautiful night. And you really did this tonight? Like, come on, bro. So, yeah. But we're going to be back. We'll be back next year. Tons of fun. Says, no offseason moves will save this team for 5 years. And Tons of Fun also says, I pray to God Steelers prove me wrong. Hey, man, I like that mindset. At least you're open to it. So we'll see what happens, man. All right, Richard R. Bezo, he says, Terrell Austin is fine. But is it him or Omar then? Like I said, if you're looking to point the finger at somebody, you can point the finger at everybody in the organization. Like, Everybody has a hand in it. You put the black goalie, you get paid to be here. If you're not helping us win, you're helping us lose, right? So you can point the finger at everybody. I don't point fingers because what is that going to get me? If I want to point the finger, I'm pointing at myself and say, how do I make it better? How do I improve? And hopefully that's what the dudes are doing, whether you're talking Terrell Lawson, whether you're talking Omar, whether you're talking Coach T, whether you're talking Arthur Smith, whether you're talking any of the assistants. That should be the mindset. It's very easy to just do that. It's very easy, man. But like I said, so to me, I don't look at it like that, man. And in terms of TA, I don't just say that he's fine. I don't think that. I think that you still want more. And that's why I said what I said about what's the connection? Is there a disconnect? Because at times you're, putting a little bit too much on them. Then it's like you simplified a little bit too much. And now you depend on personnel, and personnel doesn't execute the way that we would have liked it to execute. So yeah, he is at fault in that capacity. And then when you're talking personnel, Omar is the orchestrator of the personnel. So yeah, he's at fault in that capacity as well. But neither one of them play. Neither one of them were out there guarding any of those players tonight. So as much as I would love to just say, hey, Omar, why didn't you make the tackle on Derrick Henry? Hey, Terrell Lawson, why didn't you contain Lamar Jackson? I still have to look at the players. So that's the part where it's like, yeah, you can point and just say it was you or just you. But I think that you're going to be doing yourself a disservice as you really seek that change, as you really seek the uptick in production and ultimately the good feelings of victory. I think the way that you really look at that is, yeah, you look at all of it and you be hard about it. And you're like, all right, that was good. That wasn't good. You go down that list, varsity, JV. It's literally that simple. That's what we do when we watch the tape. You put it on and you're like, yo, was this good enough? Yes or no? One play at a time. Check, minus. Check, minus. And you look at that and you're like, you had too many minuses, bro. I don't care what they say. This wasn't good enough. So if we do that about everybody in there, I think we'll be able to find the answers to that. But you really got to do it, though. Not everybody wants to do it. Most people want to do the feel-good stuff. They want to do I want to point the finger at that guy because he's the guy that I can point and say, yeah, you suck. That makes me feel better about it. But the guy that actually had, the hand in it, I like him a little bit too much, so I ain't about to do that. That's when I look at is it that guy or is it that guy? It's just like, yeah, man, if we're going to do it, like really do it. Look at everybody. And then you look at contracts, you look at expectations, you look at what we anticipate, and then who delivered, who didn't deliver. And then tell me. Let's go, UW. Shout out to Let's Go, UW. Man, give me some chapstick, man. Hold on, where the chapstick at, man? I guess we've been in here for two and a half, huh? How we get here for 2.5 hours? I don't even know how we did that, but y'all hit that like button if you haven't done so in these first couple of hours, right? And don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel. I guess it's the off-season flow. We usually don't do it this long, but we got a little more time on our hands tonight. We're gonna trauma bond a little bit more. All right, let's keep our trauma bond go on, man. Let's go. UW says, what is stopping Coach Tomlin from being Dan Campbell? I don't know. They're two totally different entities. One has had a bad season or two record-wise, whereas one hasn't. One has more optimism about his team getting to a Super Bowl right now, but still has never got his team to a Super Bowl. One has been to 2-1-1. I think the only difference is right now, Dan Campbell, he's the new flavor of the month. He's the new hot coach right now. He's the coach that, they allowed him some time after them first 2 seasons in Detroit. They allowed him some time to kind of figure it out. They allowed him some time to build his pieces. They allowed him some time to get his quarterback. They allowed him some time to get all right, I want this pass rusher. I want that guy at my cornerback spot. I want this guy as my running back. Just allowed him time. I think that's the difference. But the real big difference is he got Jared Goff, who's playing at a heck of a level this year. You look at what Jared Goff did, you combine what Russ and Fields did, and you tell me what the difference is. That's what's stopping Coach Tomlin from being Dan Campbell if you really want to be real. We could talk about all the theatrics of, man, they're super aggressive. They will always go for it on 4th down. That's all well and good. But you do that when Jared Goff is playing the way that he's playing and you got Sonic and Knuckles back there running the football how they running it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, top 5 receiver, right? You tell me where our personnel looks like that. And that's when I'll tell you where Coach Tomlin is the new Dan Campbell right now. But to me, I think that's the big difference. We can overlook that but that matters a lot at this level, man. You either have that guy or you don't have that guy. Oh, and their offense line is like amazing. If we also gonna do that, offensively they are like 2-3 levels ahead of us. If we're gonna be transparent, but defensively, that's where we got the advantage on them. Their defense, especially with some of the injuries that they had, man, our defense is way better than theirs. But once again, this is why we had that convo. It's like we've seen the Lions, even with them coming up short, they're coming up short 46-44 or 46-42. That game also the Bills is like, yo, they're putting up a ton of points. So even when you don't feel like they're the most complete, it's like, yo, they still can score 30. They still can score 40. I mean, obviously they looked even better in that game against the Vikings, right? But their resources are on offense. And that makes you at least feel a little bit better about it. So that's the part for me where I'm like, we don't need to keep investing on defense. Let's spend on offense and get back to being able to score. And now from there, let's, instead of having to be 80% or 75% dependent upon the defense to save us, it's like, man, why don't we drop that down to like 60-40? I don't think it'd ever get to 50-50 per se, but let's switch that up a little bit where now we can believe in a little bit more on that offense. And man, we got the firepower over there to actually, be aggressive. But I think until we do that, we're going to keep playing this type of, you have to be perfect. You have to wait, time it up. Now I got the submission. Now I got him. It's like, man, that's just a tough way, especially when you're having to depend on all these different players, man. It's like, yo, is that guy going to do it right every single time? Nah. Sometimes you need that guy that's like, yo, it don't matter what's going on over here. He's just that good. I don't think we have that player right now. I think we got guys that are close to that, but I don't think we have that just yet. And I think if you have that special on offense, that changes a lot. All right, AJ Martinez, he says, Najee, have a great season in Miami with Tua. Go 22. Hey, man, you sending my dog to Miami? That's crazy. He going to get paid, though, if he go to Miami, though. He going to for certain get paid. Tons of fun. He says, Rooney Sr., I trust, not Rooney Jr. Respect on that, man. Respect. Man, you say, yo, man, I like that one. I just don't like this one. Gosh. AJ Martinez, he says, 14, or George Pickens, go to Kansas City and be the new undefeated Super Bowl champ that beats the Dolphins record. Man, I hope not. We don't want that. Dog, we don't want that. Dang. AJ, I don't like how you talking like that, man. We want GP here. If GP want to be here. I want GP here. I think he's an asset. I think he helps us win. If he wants to be here. I need him here. Unless he don't want to be here. If he don't want to be here, then that's a different convo. But he good. We saw him tonight. He made some plays out there tonight, man. Actually, what did he end with? Let me see. Yeah, 5 catches, 87 yards, and a tutty. All 5 targets, had a 36 long guy. Come on, man. Hey, I need GP here. Don't send GP off yet. All right. Tons of fun, he says. But like my dream to see Steelers win a Super Bowl, Rooney Sr. is passed away. So he feels that his dream of winning the Super Bowl has passed away as well. Hey, man, I can understand it. Trust me, man. All right. Remix. He says, Pitt owes Tomlin for Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett. Hashtag sabotage Tomlin. I would agree with that, man. I feel like they tried to sabotage my dog, man. And they sold him on the, this the Pitt connection, man. Yeah, I'm good on that one, man. I'm good on that one. So, yeah, definitely old Coach T. And he found a way to get 10 wins out of that with him, too. All right, Let's Go You Dub says, you peeped the GP comments post-game. Not officially. Some people said it was something on Twitter. Then they were like, yo, does he have Twitter? I don't know. I just pray that whatever he is saying, or if he does say anything, they just take some time, man. When you're in the heat of the moment, man, when you're, you got the emotions fired up, especially after a game where you lose and the season is over, postseason, it hurts. So when you're pissed off, man, you're not going to always act the most rational. I'm speaking from the stance of like 36, kind of figuring it out, but kind of don't at the same time. Still working on Wusan being slow to anger, quick to, peace and happiness. It is not the easiest thing. So I can only imagine for a guy like GP who is ultra competitive and is a true dog, right? Yeah. When you lose, man, you pissed. It hurts. And then you got people talking crazy about you, telling you how you supposed to react, how you supposed to talk, how you supposed to act. Absolutely not, man. You get out there and sometimes you really want to tell people how you really feel about it, but you can't. You have to be professional. You have to have some tact about you, right? You got to have some professionalism in terms of how you communicate your feelings and articulate it and all that other stuff. Whereas when you really just want to be like, yo, F this, bump that, and this and this and that and that. But you know how it goes, man. So hopefully for GP, it's nothing crazy. But I haven't personally seen the comments just yet. But people have been bringing them up. It's floating around. All right. Tons of Fun says, anything can happen in the postseason unless you are the Steelers. We lose in the playoffs because we actually play good teams. All right. Respect on that, man. All right. J Clips 247. He says, give Russ a chance. Guy had 3 different coaches in 3 years. And see, part of me agrees with that. Part of me would like to see him with the full offseason, stay healthy, full training camp. We get a chance to actually build up from week 1 and go all the way there versus what we saw this year where it was you got all the OTAs and then conditioning tests, you're hurt. We miss you 95% of training camp and all but a series and maybe like a series and a half of preseason football. And then you miss the first 6 games of the season. So rhythm-wise, flow-wise, the confidence, the time, and all the little intricacies that go into being a high-level offense, you miss out on so much of that, and you're playing catch-up. So I would like to see, if you could actually come right back with the same playbook, come right back with a lot of the pieces that you're already familiar with. I think that we could get a lot better version of Russ, a lot better version of this offense. And I think the production that we saw at times, right? We had moments where we saw production. I think we will get more of those results. But the only way that happens is if you allow this guy to have that time to build. Because as athletes, man, dudes are capable of playing in a lot of different scenarios, but we thrive the most when we get a chance to have that continuity, that consistency, when I don't have to think as much, when I actually know what this is without you don't ever have to talk. I already know how you're thinking. I know, hey man, this is a situation he's going to call this. And when he calls this, we're going boom. Like that's the way that you wanted to get. But the only way it gets to that is if you actually have the same coaches around, the same message around. When you keep switching it up over and over, man, it's like, dude, how do we get there, right? What do you want to do in this situation? You thinking this? So it knocks your rhythm off a little bit. It takes away from how great you're able to fully be. So that is the part where I'm like, if Arthur Smith is still here, it's like I could see that. I could see the Russ part. And that's why I say it's still hot seat. I think the hot seat is hot because, you got to make it all happen if you do that. Because of how it ended this season. You don't get the luxury of, we'll do another season after that. No. Can't be another one and done, especially if you're running it back with a lot of the same pieces. But I don't think it would be one-on-one or a one and done if you actually upgrade the offensive talent. I think that could change it. Barilla 92 says, I think fans are just tired of this playoff purgatory. Trust me, I would agree with you. I'm also tired of playoff purgatory. It sucks. We either want to be great or not, but to just wish to not be great, I don't think that that's the answer. I think that hurts us a lot more than the playoff purgatory that we currently are, but we don't get to fully experience that until you rip that Band-Aid off and then you look up and it's like, all right, you Cleveland, you Jacksonville, you San Diego, or I guess LA now, excuse me. But you're one of them teams. It's like, how did we get here? Like, what is that? And I shouldn't have said LA. You're the Cardinals. Throw you out there, right? So that's part of it. And I think for the Steelers, they just aren't interested in that either. But let me continue on with you, Brilla 92. I didn't mean to cut you off right there. He says the only thing that hasn't changed is Coach Tomlin. So that's why we want something new, right or wrong. And I can definitely understand that. And that's why I was like, man, when people, see the result and they're tired of it and they say, I just want to change because this is the guy that hasn't changed. So I just need that one to be different. to me personally, I view that as change for the sake of change. I think if the message was still, I think if we weren't winning, I think if we were having a 4-win team or a 5-win team, then yeah, I look at Coach Tomlin and I say, yeah, you're the reason. You got to get up out of here. But when I look at all the different change that has happened and what has been the constant, Coach Tomlin, what has also been the constant, we're in playoff games. Tell me when we're missing playoffs. Tell me when we're not getting the opportunity to win in the playoffs. The playoff purgatory is because, yeah, we don't believe that we can keep winning because it's been a long time since we've won. But we've already seen this guy win before and do it multiple times in the postseason. So you know he has the skill to do it because he's already done it before. The real thing, though, is, once again, when you're talking about these changes, like, what is the common denominator? My thing that I've noticed is once Ben was no longer Ben, now you're searching for the next guy. And until you find that next guy, this is what you deal with. And the Band-Aid is Coach Tomlin figures out how to get the defense nice, so you're constantly going to be in these games, tight one-score games, which you find a way to win. But then you play these playoff teams who have these high-powered quarterbacks or elite quarterbacks. We saw it last year with Josh Allen. We saw it this year with Lamar Jackson. A couple years before that, we saw it with Patrick Mahomes. It's like, yeah, you run into these teams, and it's like, yo, we ain't got enough juice for that. Like, we could play our best game, but if they play their best and we play our best, their best is better than ours. It's not something we like to talk about, but that is the case. So I get the playoff purgatory. I definitely do. And I definitely could see why people would point to Coach Tomlin for that. But that's why my perspective was different with it because of the context I broke down. So I get both sides of it, man. Definitely do, man. And I think that's why it's healthy. I think that's why, we like to have these convos. I know that's why I like it because it's kind of cool to hear y'all side of it. I know how my side is. And sometimes, man, we get the tunnel vision because you've done it. The conviction is, man, I've lived it. I've been in there specifically with that guy. So yeah, I know my confidence in him because I didn't been it. I didn't walk that. Everybody ain't gonna have that same level of confidence. So I don't expect that. But that's why it is refreshing at times to just hear the different side of it, man. It's like, all right, cool. Like, that's how y'all see it. That's dope. Like, I don't, but that's interesting. Like, respect on that, man. Like I said, it's a fun perspective. It's a fun dynamic, man. So shout out to you, though, Barilla92. Then we got the homie Michael Starks. Michael Starks says, with this continuous cycle of not winning playoff games, will this cause players like TJ Watt to leave to avoid wasting good years of his career? Me personally, I don't think that TJ would. I think just knowing TJ, I was here with him when he was a rookie. TJ is the dude that he believes that he could be the reason why we win. So in fact, it's the opposite approach. You got guys that cut and run. He's the guy that's like, nah, man, I'm locking in. I'm digging in even more so, and let me be the reason why we figure it out. Let me be the reason why. And the Steelers believe in him. That's why they pay him what they pay him. Shoot, I know I believe in him. It's TJ Watt. Until I see him not be TJ Watt, I don't believe he's TJ Watt. Banged up and all. But I don't think he's the type of guy. Nah. I think he wants to be like how when you look at Cam, one jersey type of guy, man, but deliver that Lombardi here type of guy. You don't get that by cutting and running when it's adversity. You don't get that by, oh man, it's the road looks too rough. Oh, we shouldn't go this way no more. Nah, you don't get it that way. TJ Watt hasn't turned into TJ Watt by taking the path that's, easy, that everybody travels. Oh, it's too rough here. Let me go over here now. Let me go hop on with that team. Nah. TJ the type of dude is like, yo, I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to do it here. And when I do that, I'm going to control this narrative. Y'all are going to love it. I'm going to make y'all love it because I got this. So I believe in the homie TJ, man. So yeah, I don't think that's the case, man. I do feel like though, you get the opposite approach. I know a lot of, I'm sure media is going to make that probably go that direction. Oh yeah, why would free agents want to come here? He's going to lose Coach Tom. No. It's the opposite. Dude's going to want to come here. They're going to say, I want to be the reason why we win. I want to be the reason why we have success. I know I felt like that. She was back-to-back 8-8 years when I came over. I'm like, oh, shoot, we get a chance to actually be a part of something cool here. We're going to get a chance to really change something. And you actually get into the post. When you like, yo, hey, we left it better than it was when we got here. And that's how it's supposed to be. You don't get that, though, by, oh, it's adversity, man. We got to go away. Oh, man, it's too tough out here. No, And there was plenty of times where, like I said, man, you have adversity in those seasons during that time frame, but you still stick with it. And that's the thing, man. I think with TJ, he's a dude that's going to want to stick with it. Cam Hayward wants to stick with it. Dudes are gonna want to be here, man. JPJ, you think JPJ gonna want to leave? Nah, he gonna want to be here. He gonna want to be locked in. Man, he gonna want to be locked in, man. So with that, man, take advantage of it while you have it. And I think that's gonna be the approach, man. But that only goes so far. Because like I said, all this could be changed. If we're sitting here a year from now and it's the same spot, yeah, it's gonna be way, way, way different. But let's not worry about the negative just yet. We'll see what it looks like. But yeah. TJ ain't going nowhere. All right. Let's see. Let's wait. Jinkity Jinx. Shout out to them Jinkity Jinx. He says, Moats, is it true that us fans care more about this loss than the players do? I feel like we take it harder. No, I think that fans express their emotions more publicly. I think that's the only difference. And the reason why I say that is this. For the player, number one, you're away from your folks. Let's see, last time they played was Saturday. So Sunday, you're in a meeting once you figure out who you're playing against. So you're watching all the games Sunday. You got your workout, and obviously you did all your body rehab stuff, man, because you feel like absolute trash at this point of the season after all the games. Then from there, Monday, what are you doing? Working out, meetings, practice. Tuesday, workout, off day, but you got to get your body right. Probably gonna do something in the community as well, so you can, improve the city. Then from there, Wednesday, grinding, working, practice. Thursday, grinding, working, practice. Excuse me, I said Tuesday off day. Tuesday no off day because the game was on Saturday this year. So grinding, practice, sacrifice, right? No fun, no hang with the peoples, no traveling, no Cancun, none of that, right? We grinding, working, hitting, practicing, meetings, sun up, sun down. You leave, get into the building in the morning, 6 a.m., it's pitch black. By the time you leave out of that thing, 5:30 in the afternoon, 6 p.m. at night, it's pitch black. Yeah. So you do all of that, all of those days, hop on that flight to Baltimore on a Friday, right? Don't forget you already had to play on Christmas. You already had a game, right around New Year's Eve time frame, Thanksgiving time frame, all these things, right? You've been locked in, playing on all this stuff, right? By the way, when they love you, everybody talks about how great you are, lose, y'all suck, you should get fired. Why are you out here, right? So then you actually get to this point and you actually lose this game after all that preparation, all the sacrifices from January, right? When the last season ended and you said, man, I'm going to do whatever it takes to not have that taste in my mouth. And you make all them sacrifices and now a calendar year later you're here. Yeah, it matters way more to any player than it will for any fan, regardless of what a fan might tell you. And I'm speaking from personal experience. Okay? Fans just publicly display it more because it's more acceptable. If a player gets out here and cries, y'all calling it soft. Guy gets out here and curse everybody out, he should get fined because it's conduct detrimental to the team. You go out here and you talk bad about somebody, you want to run up in the stands because you're really emotional and you're pissed off about whatever just took place in the game, you're in trouble for that. If you fight the other team, you're in trouble for that. So no, in fact, it's the opposite. Like I said, man, dudes are filled with rage. Yeah, but you learn how to be professional and how you articulate it. Because when you don't, they talk crazy about you and dudes get in trouble. So you know how I go, man. But yeah, for certain, man, it matters way more to players because you got way more invested in it. It's way more skin in the game. And also for the fans, man, this loss, you're not about to lose your job. You still can go to work on Monday. You still be fine, right? When Steelers lose, what's this whole chat been filled with, right? Fire that guy. Fire this guy. But it matters more? Nah. Y'all ain't life or death in the sense of, man, I lose this job. I don't perform well at work. I get fired. And publicly, everybody's talking about firing me. Publicly, everybody's having all these different opinions on me, regardless if they're qualified or not, right? They got an opinion. Social media, shout out to it. So it's like, yeah, nah. As a player, man, you almost get offended with a person like, yo, as a fan, I care more. You're like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Don't you do that now. But like I said, man, I think both sides still are very invested in it. And I think that when everybody's invested in it as deeply as we are,
when you don't get the result that you want, now it's all about how do we express those feelings? How do we get that emotion out? And for the players, man, we just default to, man, it's simpler to just give you the cookie cutter answer, stay reserved, chill on social media, and just kind of move about our day like that. Whereas for the fans, it's just, yo, my outlet is I'm going to tell you, I'm going to click this, I'm going to talk crazy, I'm going to say whatever, and it's all in the name of I'm a fan. And that's why people say some of the most outlandish stuff and we just let it slide because, like, oh, it's a fan. But nah, the players, man, it matters. It matters a lot to the players, man. All righty. CWK says, do you think there's any possibility that the 10-3 start, the Steelers got overconfident because of it? I do think to an extent, yeah. And it was funny, man. I remember when Big Ben earlier this year, when that time frame happened, he said, yo, we got to pump our brakes, man. He's like, yo, it's getting real out, but y'all still haven't really accomplished anything just yet. You got to pump the brakes. He was right. And I think, yeah, you do kind of read the press clippings a little bit. You go into the, I think it was that Eagles matchup. And from there, yeah, it was like, yo, this is about to be a real test. Heavyweight fight. Good on good. Let's see who's a big dog. I think from there, man, we got punched in the mouth. And it was like, whoa. Then we came back, got punched again and again. And it was just like, yeah, we went through a real murderer's row. And that's where it got real bad for us, man. And it's like I said, it sucks that it got to that. But that, to me, was the big difference with it, man. So, yeah, when you get that confidence like that, man, because of that, and you run into this little bit of a buzzsaw in the schedule, and it just so happens that, yeah, it was right at the end of the year. It's like, yeah, you learned a lot, but it was just you ran out of time while you learned these lessons. You never got a chance to figure out the answers to them tests, man. So that's what we're about to do this offseason and hope that we don't have this happen again. But it's been 8 years now. And a lot of us, man, y'all, us as alumni, man, you losing confidence, and rightfully so, because it's like, yeah, it's been forever now. We need one. And we need a reason to keep believing. We need a reason to keep talking. Otherwise, it's like, what are we doing? And everybody's going to be, they're getting to that point at different stages. I'm a little bit later because I got way more invested in it. But I get it, man. I definitely get it, man. Tons of fun. He says, what has the team done in this past decade to believe in them? Steelers ain't Jesus. I need to see to believe. No, respect on that, man. Some people would say the 10 wins, but, you know, everybody's different. But some people would point to the 10 wins and say that that's what they've been doing over the past decade. Because obviously when you talk about decade now, well, if you're going decade, I don't want to be that guy, but if I was being that guy, decade, this 2024 season, that would include 2014 included. I'm going to point to the fact that, yeah, I remember I was there during that time. We won playoff games. We went to an AFC championship. We won the division twice. Yeah, had a 2 seed in there as well. It was multiple. Yeah, won a playoff game in 15 and 16. Multiples in 16. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to say he did in the past decade. Had an AFC championship appearance. Lost to the Patriots, right? Patriots went on to win the Super Bowl that year. The year before that, lost to Broncos. Broncos won the Super Bowl that year. So it was like pointing to the two teams that we lost to during that time frame, saying they Super Bowl champs. And I also point to the fact that there wasn't a lot of health during that time either. So, yeah, I think he actually did do a lot. And he actually won a ton of games during that process as well when you're just talking about the past decade. So, like I said, if we don't want to do decade. For your argument, just say past 5 years. I think that is going to get you what you want more. But or just go back to 2000. Go 2000, man. 2017, man. Just, yeah, that one. But he has had success. So, once again, if we're going to react, let's react to all of it. Let's get the good, the bad, and the ugly. Don't just focus on that. Just focus on all of it. Tons of Fun also says, are Steelers Catholic? Because at first, it seems okay. Then, they're doing something not nice to him. I mean, I can understand it, baby. I can definitely understand it. Richard R. Bezo, he says 50K is fire. Shout out to the homie Shazier, right? 50. But he says 52,000 better not be bigger than 55,000 for you. And you don't do me like that, Richard. All right, don't do me like that. Even though the 52K is going to be very, very nice. Lord willing, if we get to 52K, I'm going to be hyped. All right, but 55K is going to be fire as well. All right, Lord willing. We just got to keep going, man. And know what we get there is, by streaming, man, having fun, man, dropping content, reacting to the guys, having fun with it, like tons of fun,
But it is what it is, man. That's what we are. It was about to be 3 hours on a late night 2 a.m. vibe out, man. But shoot, we having fun, man. I hope y'all having fun. If y'all having fun, hit that like button. If you're not, still hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, you want to rock out even more, so not missing out on any of the content, especially this off season as we continue on, man, because we're going to be covering the draft, man. We do a ton of pre-draft content, man, mock drafts and things like that. Then obviously we do watch parties, man. We'll do a live watch party for the draft. We got to do that. That's the always thing. But yeah, man, ton of coverage, man. Interviews will still be going on and stuff like that. So like I said, man, if you don't want to miss out on it, hit that subscribe button. Shout out to Tons of Fun. Man, Tons of Fun dropping 5 upper room memberships. Tons of Fun, you on the heater tonight. Salute to you, baby. Salute to you. But shout out to Tons of Fun paying a rock star, paying it forward into the 5 individuals that he just gifted. Welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. ASAP Smalls says Moats for defensive coordinator 2025. Absolutely not. Listen, I am such like a homebody right now. We just moved into the new casa, baby. I'm feeling good over here. Hey man, I don't want no spot. I don't want no job right now. I'm good. I'm proud of my guys though. I'm living vicariously through TG, defensive coordinator, Norfolk State University, with my teammate Mike Vick. I'm living vicariously through my homie Vince Williams, Steelers assistant defensive line coach. I'm living vicariously through my homie Ryan Shazier, Steelers running back assistant coach. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's we doing over there, man? I'm with that. Now what I'm with. Okay, I'm with that. Yeah. Other than that, I want to sit right here, talk to y'all, and go downstairs, chill with wife and the kids, man. That's what I'm on. All right, Tons of Fun says, no hate, Moats. Paying supers for you to hear me vent. No. Trust me, baby. I'm with you, Tons of Fun. And that's why I said I like when you communicate like that, man, because we all have our feelings about it. I'm the fortunate one that I get the microphone, so I get to just talk, right? But for y'all, man, it's like, yo, man, I get it, man. You're passionate, and that passion is real. Those feelings are real. And us as players, we feel that. That's why we love when we in the game and we hype the crowd and everybody, oh, you don't get that if you don't love it, right? Fans wouldn't cheer as much if they didn't love it. And you wouldn't be as invested if the players didn't give you enough to keep you coming back. So it goes hand in hand. But that's like, if I'm over here pointing at fans, what you gonna do? You gonna be the one up there defending the fans from your perspective. And I'm gonna be over here like, man, you an apologist for the fans, man. You don't never say nothing bad about the fans. So I get it. From your eyes, you be like, yo, man, what's this? Hey, man, what's that? And I'm like, yo, it ain't that. It ain't this. It ain't that. It's really this. It's kind of that. So I definitely can understand it. It's just at times, you know how it is, man. If we don't put that mirror up to ourselves, we only see one side of it, one perspective, man. But that's the beauty of life, man. We get to keep doing it as long as we're alive, man. We're going to figure it out. Heck yeah. All right. Zach Amig. Shout out to Zach. He says, our culture is outdated. Highest paid defense and lowest paid offense in the league will perpetually continue the cycle of good, not great. We play not to lose instead of playing to win. We're the only team punting on 4th and inches. No, and like I said, man, we're on the same page with that one. I think it is time to upgrade offense, man, to get back to that style where you do have the resources, the weapons over there to air it out, to be more aggressive, to be pass first, to be a unit where we're like, yo, offense, go out there and get it done. We feel confident about you guys. It hasn't been like that for a while. But I do feel like we can get back to that if we go and spend some of that money on that side of the ball. But we got to be willing to commit to it. If we don't, then yeah, what are we going to be doing? We just hustling back. We're running in circles right now. All right. Child of the Corn. Shout out to Child of the Corn. He says, Moats, honest feeling on our future. What we missing? To me, man, wide receiver. I honestly feel like you add a wide receiver in this thing, man. We are a more dynamic offense. And I think if we're more dynamic offense, it opens up our running game more, and it takes a lot more pressure off our defense to be great. I think right now we are so dependent on our defense being great, getting turnovers, and always being the better unit that when we run into teams like the Eagles, like the Ravens, like the Chiefs, and like the Bengals, whose offense, at least in those matchups, played better than our defense, you see what it looks like. It's like we don't stand a chance if that happens because we don't have nowhere near enough resources on offense to bail us out. Whereas I think if we spend more on offense, I think if we go get some more firepower on offense, especially a wide receiver, I think you can take a little bit of that load off of the defense. And now we're not asking them to be great for 4 quarters. It's like, yo, be great for 2.5 quarters. Be great for maybe 3 quarters. And we got the rest over here. I think that helps them out a lot. And I think that gets them a lot closer to what we're trying to get to. But I think right now, in the way that we're currently structured, we are asking a lot of the defense. And we saw when they were healthy early on, they could sustain it. But as the injuries happen, yeah, it's tough to keep that level of production up. It's tough to keep that level of just excellence up when you're playing against these high-powered offenses, especially late in the year. So that's the part where I just think future-wise, we would need to change the philosophy a little bit this offseason in terms of how we, spend some of the resources that we have, or how do we spend some of the money that we have to get, new talent in there and stuff like that. All right. Oh, I'm seeing the finish line, ladies and gents. I'm seeing we get into the back end of these supers. Shout out. Hey, Wimbush, why you looking at the air condition like that? Talking about some Moats got the heat on, or Moats got the heat at 64 degrees. Bro, you cold-blooded. Look, I'll be in this joint sweating, man. I got the window open and everything. It's hilarious. Wife be like, yo, why you be like? I'm like, I don't know. I always just be hot, but I'm cool. My hands be ice cold, but I'm always a little warm. So, yeah, it just be like that sometimes, man. Life. But Zach Amig says, you could clearly see there was no buy-in from the players. They knew they had no chance. They should not be compensated, win or loss. I've been doing sales at high levels for a decade. Guess what happens when I don't perform? Nah, respect on that. I think if we're talking about the overall business structure, the business model, sure. I think the rebuttal would be which one has required more skill. And just in the sense of to acquire the job, right? Sales at a high level, we've just seen that there are a lot of people, at least in America, that can do sales at a high level, whether it's male or female, right? We see no race, color, creed has really stopped people in the sales, man. Just a lot of people can do it and do it at a high level. So that's partly why the pay structure is like that, in the sense of, yeah, when you're not performing, yeah, you can get, moved on from a little bit in a sense like that. Whereas with football, it's like, yo, this is one of the jobs that there isn't a ton of people walking this earth that can do it. We're talking about a very small set of individuals that can do this job and do it at a high level. So the way that they reward those guys is, yeah, they do have contracts where, yeah, you're going to get your money structured where it doesn't matter necessarily the outcome of the game for that season. But you also look at the structure and it's a lot different in the sense that, yeah, it's week to week for some of these dudes. Some of these dudes, man, you play on this week, you get cut, you don't get another check. And all of the time that you spent acquiring these skills for football, you don't even get to go and say, I'm going to go work for this team over here now. Nah, once y'all out the league, y'all out the league. But you only like 24, 25. With sales, at least you can, like I said, go find another spot. It's a lot of sales jobs, high levels. So, like I said, that's structurally why the pay is what it is, man, from my experiences. But not minimizing what anybody does. Everybody has a job, and that's all it is with football. It's just a job. But with that, though, it's like, yo, there is a reason why it is viewed how it is viewed, man. We can't minimize that because of the wins and losses and how we feel about it from an emotional standpoint. That is still that. And that's the whole facts part. So I was like, yo, we can't just overreact and not care about this. It's like, yo, all of it is at play, All right, R. Barley 18. Shout out to R. Barley. He says, let's look at the facts. Tomlin won with Cowher's players and Cowher's staff. And as they dwindled, so has the franchise. Attitude is gone. Toughness gone. Aura gone. Slow decline over 18 years. Facts are facts. I mean, I don't agree with you, but I get it. It's easy to just simply say, yeah, you turns to Coach Tomlin, he won with Cowher's players. Then the rebuttal is obviously, well, if they were Cowher's players and they were so great, why didn't Cowher keep winning with those same players? And then the rebuttal of that is, well, it was different because of this. So we get it. We definitely get it, man. We can say what we would like to say. The facts are still the facts that Tomlin has had a ton of success here, a ton of wins, a ton of playoff appearances. He has the same amount of Super Bowl rings as Bill Cowher does as well, and he has a second appearance in a game that is a Super Bowl. Obviously, we know Bill Cowher, man, a lot of playoff success, a lot of AFC Championship appearances, man, and as a Hall of Famer, right? So we're not taking anything away from Bill Cowher, but let's not act like Coach Tomlin isn't that dude either. Like, I know in the moment we want to, poo-poo him to make this look bigger, but it's like, let's not do that. They both like that. They both stamped. They both Hall of Fame dudes, man. They both gold jackets. Like, we know this. It's all right. My man Cameron Fowler showing love, man. Shout out to you, Cameron Fowler, man. I appreciate you supporting the channel, man. Definitely, like I said, from the heart, man, means a lot. Timid, man. Devontae Foreman, he says, who do you think will be the best free agent wide receiver for us? T. Higgins for sure, but Keenan Allen would be cheaper. This is true. To me, I want T. Higgins. If I'm going free agency, I got to look to see who else would be available. I heard about a Tyreek Hill potentially being disgruntled. Then I seen Big Drew Rosenhaus say, nah, man, he good. He happy in Miami. I want to make that phone call. I'm just saying, if I want a guy, I want a guy. T. Higgins is dope. But Tyreek, I deal with attitude. He nice. And you know what makes them dudes be happy? When they win. You know what we need? A dude that can take the top off defense. A dude that can legit be a bona fide, just scare you type wide receiver. He's that. But I would, like I said, need to look around a little bit more. Keenan Allen is cool. I like Keenan. I don't know if that moves my needle all the way. Keenan is cool. But to me, it's like, I don't know. I look at Keenan like a poor man's Mike Evans. And some people don't all the way love Mike Evans. I like Mike Evans a lot. Some people look at Mike Evans like, oh, man, he's just 1,000 yards. Like, 1,000 yards is cool. But you ain't like killing people. You ain't did it. It's like, yo, it's Mike Evans, though. But I don't feel like Keenan, I don't know. I'm a little back and forth with that one. But T, yeah, I like T a lot. I definitely good with T. But like I said, Tyreek is the call that I'm making. I'm going to see what that is. How pissed off is he really? What the numbers looking like? Just asking. Because, yeah, that changes a lot. We saw what that made Miami turn into a Tua Tagovailoa. That changed everything once that got down there in Miami, man. So, yeah. All right. Cameron Fowler also says, excited our offensive line comes back and trust in Omar Khan. Yes, man, I agree with you on that, man. We do actually have a lot of those pieces coming back on the offensive line. And you think about the amount of reps and experience that Zach Frazier and Mason McCormick got this season. Both of those guys weren't supposed to be starters, right? We're supposed to have Nate Herbig and James Daniels as our starting center and starting guard. Nate Herbig gets injured, the week before opening kickoff? And then James Daniels gets hurt, week 2? So from there, man, both of those young players have to go out there and start multiple games this season, put together a heck of a season, man. You talk about Zach Frazier, man. We thought he should have been, in the Pro Bowl, or at least, we know he's one of the alternates. And then when you're looking at Mason McCormick, man, did a heck of a job this year to the point where we were like, yo, we feel great about what he's doing. We weren't even tripping that James Daniels was hurt. But shoot, even with that, man, dudes like Spencer Anderson, man, we saw him multiple times now get chances to start and play because of injuries and play well. Calvin Anderson came out there tonight, played well enough, gave him some time. So it's like, man, when you think about the big group though, man, Broderick Jones, another year in this belt, man, with a ton of reps. Now he gets to go back potentially to the left spot. Dan Moore, another season where we saw him improve. Didn't stay the best in terms of how high I got at one point this season, but as a whole, we feel good about this year. And then we felt good, even though it was a small sample size with Troy Fautanu. But we still was like, yo, this dude, he got it. He know what he's doing. So, yeah, I do feel good about that, man. And obviously with Seyi Malu, man, he's a dog. Heck of a player, man. So, yeah, I do feel good about the fact that we got a lot of that coming back, man. And, yeah, with offensive lines, man, we heard when Ramon Foster was on our show, man. The one thing he said was, man, you got to give them dudes time to gel. He talked about the Killer Bee offense, but more importantly, that O-line from 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, how they were viewed as the best in the league. But he talked about how in 12 and 13, it was like, yo, we weren't viewed that way. I know how I viewed them being in Buffalo when we played against the Steelers in 13. We ain't look at the O-line like that, but you gave them dudes time to gel. And they kept coming back, kept getting better. And before you knew it, it was like, yo, them dudes some dogs up front. Offensive line, man, we got a chance. We've invested a lot of resources in it, man. So I'm excited about that as well, man. And yeah, we're going to see what Omar can do. All right. I'm too saucy for you. He says, get rid of Najee and Terrell Lawson. No, don't do them both like that. Come on. I'm too saucy. Both of them? Both of them. Man, that's tough. That's tough. I can understand it, though. I can definitely understand it. I already told you, I want Najee back. But if I can't get my receiver because of him, I can't have him back. I need my receiver. Got to get my receiver. I can't do another year. Don't sell me on the let's cut the corners and get the cheaper route. I don't want the cheaper route. I want to go spend and get me a guy. Spend and get a guy. All right. And let's see. Jeff H. Shout out to Jeff H. He says, shout out Moats for late night talking with the game, man. You know how we're gonna do it, man. Well, actually, you is talking with the game. Well, actually, man, I feel like my my research then kind of wore off a little bit. It's about time to get the research going again. Then after that be bedtime. It's 2:35 in the morning. Lord, we've been up for 3 hours. How we doing so for 3 hours? I blame the comfy chair and y'all. All right, it's y'all fault. It's because y'all awesome. All right. Shout out to each and every one of y'all that was with me tonight, though, man. If y'all digged the show, man, hit that like button. One time for the culture. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe, either if you are new to the channel. Like I said, man, sucks that this is the final post-game live watch party for this football season. But it's been a heck of a year, man. It's been a heck of a ride. So, obviously, tap in with us on Monday, man. Monday should be regular time, 4 o'clock, man. Me and the homie Deke, man, we'll get in here. Obviously, break this thing down, man. Talk a little bit more after we've had a couple of days to digest this and, react. But like I said, man, definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all rocking with me, man. And stay safe out there. But until next time, baby, peace.